What's up, everybody? Hola, hola, hola. Welcome to another episode of On the Block with Jen. I am YouTube and your favorite devil's advocate, Jen. How are you? You can reach me on all social media platforms, On the Block with Jen. If it's your first time here, where the hell have you been? Glad you're here now. Please hit that like and subscribe on your way in, or if you're catching the replay, your naughty boy or girl should be here when we go live every single day for you. If you want to support the show, there goes my donation plate right there on the Block with Jen Cash App, okay? And you do actually support the show. We got a lot of things coming up, and every penny counts, okay? So thank you. So if you should find it in your heart and be so kind and hit that donation plate on the Block with Jen Cash App or Super Chat per usual. Glad to see you here, guys. Gonna have a good show tonight. Lots to talk about. And let my peoples introduce themselves because we're still doing that. Yes, we are.
That's right. I am Lily of YB Limited. That is spelled YB Limited. The letter Y, the letter B, Limited. The way it is here on the screen. You can find me here on YouTube as well as Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I started my career as a makeup artist and then I moved on to being a model slash actor. And those roles led me here to the block with my crew here. That's YB every night.
And I am Heron DeMarco. You can music producer, and you can find me on IG under Dangerous DeMarco. You can find me under Heron DeMarco under Spotify and Apple Music. And after the show, I'm going to be on my way to come see Umar about the goddamn money he owes me for stealing my talking points for dragging you broke ass niggas up and down the block.
Hello. So I'm no saint. I'm here on the block with Jen. You can catch me YouTube No Saint as you see it there. You might have to search a little bit, but I'm there. And also Saint No Saint, st.no saint on IG. That's all I'm going to say about that.
You're doing a good job, though, no saying. You pumping that content out.
You really, really are. You really, really are. All right, guys, lots to cover tonight. So let's try to cut through it. We only have 2 hours. Unless we really jazzy tonight, we could get it in under 2 hours, which I doubt.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Okay, good. All right, then. Good. Let me drop.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say.
Let me drop the StreamYard link once again. If you guys want to come up and cam up and argue with us, you are more than welcome. Just cam up. You already know the rules here. What's up, No Saints?
Yeah, I only got one thing from the desk today. It's an update on the Titan that was lost at sea. It sounds like Sunday evening. It's taken kind of a creepy, horrible turn if what is happening. I'm hoping at this point that it imploded and everybody died on board instantly, because the other side is they've had some Coast Guard reports that they've heard some knocking every 30 minutes and some other sounds coming from there. And they now have maybe 5 to 6 hours of oxygen left. And if you think about it, they only had 1 bottle of water and a sandwich going down there. There is no bathroom. It's probably a horrible thing if they're still living, and they're not going to get rescued. There's no way they're going to get rescued. Even if they find it, I don't know how they're going to get it off the bottom. So yeah, it's kind of sad. It was a billionaire, a CEO of a company, and then a guy from Pakistan with his son is down there as well. Mm-hmm. When you put faces to it, it kind of makes you a little less pushed away from it, a little more involved, like, oh my goodness, guy and his son. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. We should know something. I mean, I'm sure they're going to say something within the next day that everything's lost, but at this point they're still searching, and they haven't found it yet.
So I will say the internet apparently thinks niggas die every day, B, because the memes and the jokes, I mean, Stop. And some of them are fucking hilarious, except we're really talking about people who died. But we're living in an age where everybody is desensitized. You know how common folk feel about billionaires, right? They're calling them stupid. Those seats were $250,000. Okay. They paid $250,000 to have a seat in a can. Okay. Another thing that's really weird to me is the guy that was manning the boat is the one that made the boat. And he thought it was cute to have, video game handle to steer the boat. He literally bragged about how some of the parts were $40, how some of the parts were junk parts. So I don't know about you, but you're not going to take me 50,000 feet below water. All you have to do is show me that what do they call it nowadays? Is it a control? It's not a controller. That's our generation. What do they call it now, Haran? What is that thing that you?
Pretty much the same. Just call it a controller.
Okay, a controller. But you got to show me that controller one fucking time for me to walk away from you like you were batshit crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, you're absolutely right. A motherfucker said we're going into the bottom of the ocean and you pull out an Atari joystick. I'm like, you know what, bro?
I mean, and he was, you know what I mean, reminiscent of the Titanic, right? Here's just some rich people who had money to burn. Obviously, you don't just throw $250K at a submarine. But here's the thing: why are you throwing $250K at a submarine that's being, steered with a fucking video game controller? Right. And the guy was bragging about how, he made it with cheap materials. And also now, as with most tragedies, people are coming out the woodwork saying, I got fired for saying it wasn't safe. And, this had this many violations and the CEO ignored it. And, so all of that's happening. Yeah, we're laughing at the memes and shit like that, but we're still human. And it's still... What is that wind? What is that wind?
I'm sorry. It's when I turned my mic on, I was about to say something. I'm pausing and coming back. It's just the AC.
Okay, when you turn it on, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's loud.
Very loud. So it's it's a loss of life. Sad for their families.
Got to be more careful. I mean.
When you just, and then they said, every time I read an update, it's like they have 10 hours left. And then I'm looking at when the post was made, and the post was made like 3 hours ago. So I'm doing the math and I'm like, so they have 7 hours left. It's a bad way to go, but people don't know exactly what happened. They were speculating that water may have seeped in to the vessel. Other people saying that it may have imploded. Other people saying that it may have gotten tangled in the Titanic wreckage once it went in, because it was small enough to like maneuver through the Titanic. They're saying maybe it got caught, maybe water seeped in, maybe it imploded, maybe whatever, they're running out of air. But either way, no matter what happened, it is a bad way to go. I'm honestly hoping they drowned, because just suffocating and knowing that you're suffocating and watching a clock saying you have this much air left is absolute fucking torture, right? But that's I'm sure they knew the risk going down there with a bottle of water. I mean, no safety whatsoever. No extra water. I know
more than
people
that
do
when I go to Central Park.
Yes, ma'am.
Never underestimate the sheer and utter arrogance of rich white people. Ironically, those same arrogant rich white people went to go see what happened when a bunch of other arrogant rich white people were on a boat that they swore would fucking sink.
The unsinkable. How poetic.
Well, listen,
it came full circle.
Yeah,
I totally understand like what you're saying about a video game remote, because going over on a plane that had video game remotes, if you ever these nice planes that go overseas and you can play video games or you can watch movies, and those things are worn out. So it's like they don't work. I was playing Pac-Man and getting frustrated because I couldn't turn fast enough because the controller was messed up. But that being said, there was one passenger on board also that went to Elon Musk SpaceX or whatever. He went into space, which seems a lot safer now than doing what he's doing. Because I don't know.
One of these days, I'll tell you guys a story about what I thought I was going to actually go down in a plane wreckage. I literally actually thought.
Well, let's hear it now. I mean, we're
right.
here.
This is appropriate time.
This is the time. This is the time.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it real quick. I copped a plane ticket. You know what I mean? This is one of the reasons why you don't make these decisions out of anger, folks. I copped a plane ticket, you know what I mean, on the way to see somebody. The return thing was some company I was not familiar with, but I said, fuck it, whatever. You know what I mean? So on my way back home, I'm online. I get online to, you know, check in my bags or whatever, and like no one's on the line. There's like one clerk, and I'm like, this is odd, but fuck it, I'll go with it. You know what I mean? I checked in my bags, everything went real smooth, and I'm like, oh, and it was like, yeah, just go over there, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go to the gate, and I'm waiting around with the people, and I was like, wow, there's not a lot of people here. I was like, wow, maybe it's not, you know, I caught a flight that just didn't have a lot of people, didn't really know what the plane, you know, the plane company was. So I'm waiting around for the plane, and the plane comes around, and they like, the plane's here, and I'm looking at the plane, I'm like, I'm looking for like a plane, a big ass plane. I'm like, I don't see a plane. I was like, no, it's right there. And I'm looking down, and the shit looks like, wait a minute, that's one of those fucking Jurassic Park planes. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
get on that.
The Malia planes.
I get on the plane, the small ass
Cessna.
plane. You know what I mean? I get on this small ass plane. It's being driven by this fucking Russian. You know what I mean? And I'm in there, and you know what I mean? They're saying like, yeah, you're gonna have to check your bag in the wing. And I'm like, huh? Excuse me? You want me to put my bag in the wing of the fucking plane? And I'm sitting there, and he's like, yeah, we got to check for who's going to sit where, you know what I mean? And we need to know, you know, how much, you know, everyone weighs. And then he looks at me, he's like, hey, man, how much do you weigh? And I'm like, don't ask me no stupid fucking questions. How much do you think I fucking weigh?
Rhetorical ass question.
Tell me to go to the fucking back already, or wherever it is you want me to go. And we're on the plane or whatever. It goes up. It's rickety as hell. I think I heard something swing open, you know what I mean? And we're in the sky or whatever. And there was this one moment when we were flying. I'm just saying, like, as we're flying, I'm saying to myself, like, only I am capable of actually possibly going down in some shit that they had in Jurassic Park to go to the fucking island. Only me. And there was one moment in that situation where the plane dips a good couple of fucking feet.
Oh, ain't nobody got time for that.
That's just a whoosh. And the Russian dude is like, much sorries. And I'm just sitting there like nigga, I'm a really dumb.
Okay, so what did you think? What were you thinking?
What was I thinking?
Yeah. As you thought you were going to die, what do you think?
As I thought I was going to die, what was I actually thinking? Did I leave the stove on?
Oh, I was about to say, was you hungry? Because I would be thinking about food.
Like I think of strange shit like that when things like that happen. It's not the first time.
Wait a minute. So you thought you were going to die, and you were thinking, did I leave the stove on?
Yeah, like I think of weird shit like that in certain situations.
At least now we know what the possibility of what people were thinking 9/11, I guess.
Yeah. No, I'm not a normal person.
Did I pull the laundry out? Did I do that?
Right.
Before I'm a normal person.
But you know, turbulence puts me to sleep. It rocks me to sleep like a baby. I'd be like, boop, 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 yep, and then I'm like, knocked out. And then
yeah, one day we'll have to get into the almost dying stories. I've got two. One that was going to happen rather quickly. And we'll get it. Some other time we should all get, maybe when we get together in Vegas or something.
Okay, cool. I got one, but it's too personal to share. I got to wait for the book.
Y'all see mine on the movie, so I don't have to share mine. My shit is
that was one of the fun ones.
I've got two really good ones. One up, yeah. Okay. Really, I got one with pictures. I can share.
Awesome. Show and tell. All right. So, as with any other story that's on the timelines, the reality show crows and vultures come out the woodwork. So believe it or not, Cardi B has found her way into the storyline of the missing submarine. How the fuck does Cardi B find her way in? Well, apparently, the stepson of the billionaire on that submarine went to a Blink 182 concert yesterday. So everyone's like, oh my God, he's supposed to be by the phone, crying and tearing and wondering where his stepdad is and blah, blah. And then Cardi B got involved in the conversation because you know how you going to go to concert and, you know, and your stepfather fucked out. You're supposed to be waiting for the call. So she did that whole spiel. You know, and Josh, his name is really Brian, but he clapped back and he says verbatim, what a piece of shit you are, Cardi B, trying to get clout off me and my family suffering. I went to a Blink 182 concert for coping rather than sitting at home and watching the news over and over again. Shame on you. Get some class. We know all your latest releases are trash, but is your career this desperate for attention now?
Ooh, the read.
The read.
I think a black queen wrote that.
Okay.
A
White
black
queen.
gay man wrote that. Yeah,
This
white
is a
queen.
white
Yeah.
queen.
No, I think no. I'm talking about the black queen. Ghost wrote it.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's a old nasty read right there. That's a real nasty presidential read right there.
I mean, he has a point.
No, that's
He has a strong fucking point. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
right.
This is my issue. Everyone it's like with the Jamie Foxx situation. They clearly told you, could y'all leave us alone? And just people just needed to pick at it. They needed to find out. They started making up shit. They had them running next to Bigfoot probably. There was Jamie Foxx sightings. It was just no, just leave it alone. People always need to insert themselves into a situation because everybody needs to get their piece of clout off of the big story. Everybody needs to get their fucking 15 seconds or 15 minutes of fame off of a fucking story.
Very vulturistic.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
shit. Even looking at ID channel, right, and you'll see stories where there's a crime, and people will insert themselves in the crime to the point where they'll say, "I did it."
Yep.
Like I mean, people are so weird sometimes, and they do a whole investigation. Like, sir, you were in Milwaukee that day.
That's what happened with 9/11. Everybody has their 9/11 story. Everybody.
Oh, everybody.
Everybody.
I'm
like, what the fuck? Exactly. I was like, you were in Connecticut. And when the towers came down, you were in Connecticut, ma'am. I remember.
You weren't born.
My shit is valid though. I was right across the Brooklyn fucking bridge.
I mean, you know, if you're in New York City, some way, somehow, I'm sure you were connected. I was connected by way of, I worked in Marsha McLennan, and Marsha McLennan was on the 100 and something floor in the World Trade. No, I was at Marsh, but on Avenue of the Americas. And they had offered the girls that worked at Avenue of the Americas to go to the Twin Towers. And I was like, motherfucker, I'm barely making it to Avenue of the Americas. I am not going way down to the fucking World Trade. So some of the girls went. But I think it was on the 100th or 101 floor. So when I heard that on the news, I was like, oh, they gone.
Yeah, they gone. I
was like, they gone. They not getting out of it. They gone.
But you know what? Have y'all been down there? I do not like what they've done with the place.
Oh my God. I hate it, Lily.
Hate it with a passion.
So do fucking I. And you know what's even worse? They had fucking choices. Remember all them architects came together and they had all those choices. And I saw so many beautiful Zen designs for that memorial. And they fucking made 2 pits of hell.
Yeah, that's what my mother called it.
With loud water that looks like souls are forever trapped beneath. Who the fuck collectively came together and said, let's just put 2 fucking endless holes in the ground, 2 Sparta holes. And it's loud. It's not serene. It's not comforting. And all the names are like etched in metal around it. It might as well be the fucking wreckage. It's horrible.
It is so distasteful. Like, yeah, it should be the record. No, say that damn AC is killing it.
There's no much. AC now. I don't know what's going on then.
Yeah, it's every time you click to speak, we're getting.
It's still making that sound?
No.
When you start.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's something different. Maybe I shouldn't turn it off then.
Okay,
yeah. You good.
Don't turn it off.
Good now. But yeah, it's my mother.
So it's ugly. It's ugly.
because I hate when people come to town and that's one of the things that they want to see.
They
And
do.
I'm like, you really don't want to see it. And every time I take them, they're just like, but
This is
I
it.
stopped, right. I stopped saying something because I said, maybe it's just me and I don't want to put my opinions on them. So when my mother came this last time, I didn't say anything. And what you said is exactly what she said. She said, that looks like fucking, it looks like hell. Like, it looks like like it looks horrible. Whoever approves that, I don't know.
Okay. I
There,
haven't been.
there, there's there. No, Moxie, we didn't know there were people under there. We had no clue.
This is. I haven't been. I haven't been since. I haven't seen it, so I do want to see it. But I will say this.
Oh, you haven't seen it at all? You're a fireman. I thought you'd be
No,
over there.
no. I was there when I visited my brief time, and I gotta go. I want to go back to New York so bad. But when I was there, it wasn't the trade centers weren't completed yet, and we just didn't make it over there. But I will say this: the Opera House in Australia, the Eiffel Tower, they were both hated. They were both eyesores, and people hated those monuments. Time will tell.
Yeah, but the
I wouldn't want to see my loved
difference
one.
is,
I
but
wouldn't
here's the
want to see
thing.
my loved one like that. I wouldn't.
The difference is that there are people died there.
That's,
I understand.
yeah, exactly.
I understand people not liking the Eiffel Tower or whatever. It's like, oh, look at the design. It's ugly. The Leaning Tower of Pisa. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
But it gives it. First of all, it already has a cemetery vibe.
Yes.
It already has a cemetery vibe. So I think that, and it's not even a mental thing like, oh, you're saying that because you know people died there. No, it's morbid. It's cold and it's morbid, right? So there were so many designs that were pretty and blue and light and glittery.
It looks like a morgue.
Yes.
It does.
Oh my
God. It looks like a morgue. Yes. It looks like
the metal is dark. The inside of where the water's crashing down is dark.
It's spooky as hell.
Yeah, it's creepy. And I'm like,
nobody likes it.
Why did they do this? Like they had the opportunity, and I saw the designs. Like I Googled it. I'm like, what were their choices? And I was like, oh my God, every other choice, but that shit was amazing.
Yes,
they were all pretty. They were all.
You have to understand this isn't like, a bunch of people not liking like Michelangelo's David or some shit like that. You know what I mean? This is a space where a whole bunch of fucking people died, and a couple of people just got a big ass fucking wall. They put some names in the bitch. And they put a fountain there. That's essentially what happened.
Michelangelo.
Like when I see it, the first thing I think is if my loved one died in here, I would not want to come here and see this. Like that would infuriate me. That would infuriate me. It looks like a mockery of their death. That's exactly what it looks like to me.
I don't know about a mockery, but I would say because it's not funny. It's morbid as fuck.
Yeah.
Now, I will say they have a museum, right? They have the huge museum with actual pieces of the freaking rubble and the wreckage, and they have a fire truck that's just beat the shit that was under the rubble, and they have all that stuff in there, right? I think that's where it should have remained morbid, because you're going to walk in there and you're going to see the fire truck and you're going to see the names and the pictures. You're going to feel horrible, right? You're going to feel horrible in the museum and outside. It's just, it's ugly. And security is tight, honey. When my daughter and I went over there, we had to like put up our knives. My daughter's pulling knives out every other. What the fuck? I was like, what? You need more than one knife. But they don't let you go in like with weapons and stuff. And I'm just like, it's sad. It's sad.
It was very distasteful. I wouldn't want to see my loved one memorialized like that.
I just didn't understand why. And then they shoot the lights up from it, which is nice. Every September 11th, they shoot the lights up going up to the sky, right? I would think when you're thinking of your loved one, you would like to think upward, not below the earth and water crashing down in the darkness.
Every time the face that people make every time I take them, they're just like, what? Like the confusion and it's just people's faces. I should do a whole video of people's faces seeing it for the first time.
And that's the thing. You don't say anything. I've done the same thing. I was like, watch this.
Don't worry, you just got to tell them that the harpist was out that week. You should,
You're gonna see, no saying it's more big. You're gonna see, and the water is so fucking loud. It's not even like a nice glittery trickle. It's like the water's like crashing. The water is crashing into the fucking holes, the spider holes. It's like it's crashing. It's not. It's not
violent sounding. Very violent.
Yeah, it's like a fucking waterfall, except waterfalls are, you know what I mean,
nice and comforting, right?
Like waterfalls that you see in a hotel, like those ritzy hotels, and you see.
Listen, their spirits are sitting on the corner like this. Some bullshit. You know, there's some bullshit.
You know, there's some bullshit.
There's some bullshit. I like that third design. I just think it's sad because I think, and then we'll move on. But I think it's sad because it adds to the tragedy, and that's fucked up because a memorial should not add to the tragedy. And I went down there during Ground Zero, and the news is out there, and they asked me a couple questions, and I was in the newspaper. My mother,
oh my God, on TV.
No, not on TV, but in the newspaper when people still read those. Remember those?
That's still important. That was still important.
Oh, to my mother, it was like, "Oh my God, you made it!" I was like, "Mom, stop, just stop." But we went down there because it was, oh my God, it was such a tourist attraction that the rubble. It was, I mean, there was still smoke coming out of it. They were still searching for victims, and the firemen were working in shifts, and they would like haul them in and haul them out, and they all had like that 1,000-yard stare, man. They was just like gone. You could see in their eyes. They were just like gone. It was horrific. Mm-hmm. And what do we get? Sparta holes or crashing water into the darkness, into the pits of the earth. In the abyss.
Fucking abyss. They came from an abyss waterfall. What the fuck?
I mean, go look at the options. You'll be surprised. Go look at the options that people were deciding. Oh, you know, and I don't know who picked that. There was some pretty shit that they were gonna do.
Probably,
oh my God, there was
probably the cheapest bid.
Well, you know what? That metal looks like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because the metal is like, how much did this cost? But there was one in particular that I liked a lot, and it was like kind of like when you go to the pool, then they have like the baby pool, and it's only but so high. Mm-hmm. They had that with benches and like gardens and flowers around it, which I think would have been beautiful, like to sit there. Because I don't even think
there's one flower. There's not even like a flower pot or nothing.
They got the tree that didn't get knocked down after the wreckage. They got it standing in the middle there, tied up with some chains. You can't touch it. They got that tree. Yeah, they did them dirty. I don't like it.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so moving on. Damn, that submarine shit is wild. It's wild. It's wild. Again, I just hope they fucking drown or it imploded because it's a bad way to go. And you with your kid too.
I know. That's what made me think. I hope it imploded.
For real, because it's like
Kobe,
with
your son knowing you're gonna die and knowing
right, and it's like your mother's gonna kill me, right? But it's like when Kobe
in the helicopter.
It's like he was, it's one thing to know this is going to hurt my kid. It's another thing to have to hold your kid when you're about to die. Fuck, that's what really, it fucks you up even worse. So it's like now you're there with your son and you both looking at each other and you're like, this is it. Like, it's horrific. It's going to make a hell of a good movie. Remember The Perfect Storm, the movie with the crab, the fisherman? Mm-hmm. I was destroyed in the movie theater after. I was like, oh, my boyfriend's got drowned. It was horrible. And then at the end, one of them says, like, this is going to be hard on my kid. And then the other one is like talking to his girlfriend and she like feels him. Like, it's a bad way to go, man. Too bad.
Yeah.
But it's just, in my opinion, it was arrogance. Because, I mean, with $250,000, you could have built your own submarine, you dumb fuck.
Hey, they went out on a damn science project.
If I have $250 for a seat on a can, I'm just going to be like, I think I'll take the tour that's already on Going Strong.
Right.
I'll just do that. I don't want to go with the guy with the PlayStation. No, I don't know. I don't think so.
When I saw a picture of that thing, I said they really hopped in that thing to go to a place that no one's been before willingly. Really? Um, mm,
And then they were
I'm
saying
not.
that they had to, I don't know exactly if it's true, but they were saying that the depth of the water and then the way that it looked like a huge, like a tusk or a tooth. They were saying that they couldn't even see out of it, and they would have to see the Titanic wreckage through like
A
monitors.
camera or something.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
monitors.
Yeah, it looked
So
like they had some kind of window on the front of it, but yeah, it wasn't like. Yeah, I'm sure they had to have cameras because it wasn't like you were going to see much out of the front, even if it
Right.
is if you
And
can see through it.
and I'm also assuming that that kind of pressure from being at the literal ocean's floor, you know, what I mean, the kind of glass, the thickness of the glass, that kind of window
True.
need, you know, what I mean, to uphold that kind of pressure, that was
Right.
a lot. So yeah, it would make sense for there to be cameras.
And then they said it needed a certain amount of hours, like being tested underwater, and he didn't want to do that either.
there's a
So
lot
I'm
wrong
just
with
like,
this. Something ain't
there's
right
a
about this.
it's a lot. It's like, but again, like Haran said, never underestimate the arrogance of money. Right?
Damn.
We saw that in the movie Titanic when he had the money. He was like, "Look, I got money." He was like, "Motherfucker, we're dying. I don't give a
I mean,
fuck about your money. Like, are you crazy?" He thought he was just gonna pay his way to the boat. Like, it's like, oh man, oh man.
nature always wins, man.
Ah,
Good
my
luck.
goodness. So yeah.
You know what's crazy? Me and my manager went to Aruba last summer, and we paid for a submarine tour, and we
Mhm.
wasn't able to get on, right? Because of stupid stuff, scheduling issues and stuff like that. And then this came out, and I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take a lifetime rain check for that one. We'll revisit that next life, because yeah, after this, I think I'm good.
Yeah, sad shit. Moving on to more fuckery and money. Larsa Pippen gets half of Scottie Pippen's fortune and offers up her womb. What, pray tell, am I talking about? Well, she's dating Michael Jordan's son. And she says she's willing to have another baby if he wants it, even though she got like five. She has five kids now, Larsa Pippen with Scottie Pippen. I think she has like
Four,
five,
it's 4 or 5. I can't
four or
remember.
five. And
Hmm.
she's Larsa Pippen age. Okay, this heifer's 48. So 48 years old, she is offering up that womb for some Jordan, you know what I mean, genetics. I mean, I don't blame her. It is Jordan genetics. I get it. But I don't understand why eugenics. I don't understand why at 48 you'd want to wreck your body like that again at 48 years old. It's pretty rough.
3 kids.
Just three? Are you sure? Larsa
I thought
Pippen
it
just
was
has
more.
three. Okay, she has three.
Okay, but
So
now this is saying 4. You
yeah,
liars.
yeah, yeah. It was more than three. I definitely knew. I didn't know if it was
Because I
five or four.
right. Okay.
Okay, so she wants a gut full of Jordan. Again, I understand.
Yeah.
Um, so Harana's like, what is wrong with you?
Okay.
So she gets half the fortune, and people, of course, all the men with the regular jobs are imploding online. She wasn't with him shooting in the gym. I'm sure Scottie Pippen. Listen, Scottie Pippen. I'm sure he's older than her. You can only make but so much money, and you're not going to take any of it with you. I'm sure Scottie Pippen is fucking unbothered. That man's been wealthy for a long time. He's been fucking whoever he wanted for a long time. He's been able to
Yeah.
buy whatever he wants for a long time. So you have to understand that those men are not going to look at it like you being a bus driver or a postal worker. When you guys think of a woman taking half of your shit, it would probably destroy your lives. You'd be on suicide watch. You'd be like, oh my. Scottie Pippen is like, what else am I going to buy? I got the Bentley. I got the Maybach. I got bitches on tap. She could have the fucking money.
My,
She
this
has
has
my
to be
kids.
this has to be psychological torture for Pippen. This man has been in the shadow of Michael Jordan for decades. His ex-wife, is getting railed out by his rival. His
Railed out.
son railed out by his son, and now, he might his wife might pop out a half of Michael Jordan that's related to his kids. So this man has never been able to escape that man for a very large portion of his life, man.
Mm-hmm.
That is fucked up.
That's some torturous shit, man. Yo, Scotty, if you're out here and you're listening by any chance, just punch Mike in the face, man, and walk off.
I think that's all he could. That's the only thing he
I mean,
could and
that's
should
pretty
do at
much
this
it. If
point.
you actually
Yeah.
had the nuts to do that one day, I actually do feel that nobody would blame you.
And then Jordan is probably sitting back giggling,
Of course
drunk,
he is.
but
You know,
giggling.
he loves every minute of it. He loves every minute of it, man. It's like his kid is winning. He's about to win indirectly with his own genetics helping his fucking wife. This shit is fucked up.
Oh my god! And oh yeah, oh my! And then you got to sit there like if this baby comes, they go through with this, then your children are siblings with Michael Jordan's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like your
This
kids are
is
siblings.
just oh boy. So I guess they're gonna be wearing Jordans.
Shit.
Moxie says it's disrespectful. She should show him more respect. Not okay. Well, I guarantee that those two have shared quite a large amount of disrespect pie between those two in that marriage.
I suspect so.
I gotta
I suspect so.
I think a lot of times regular people tend to comment on the marriages and the lives of rich people's marriages, and very rarely are they the same things. Okay, you and your husband, you can have an argument, a blow up, so on and so forth, and he has to sleep on the fucking couch. Them two, they'll have they'll have excuse an argument, and he's able to say fuck this and go to Tahiti and get his knob slobbed by at least 5 or 6 fucking bevies in alphabetical order. See, it's a different kind of fucking thing that you can deal with, and then you can come back home after you leave that stress, and they can go on with their farce of a fucking marriage. See, it's a different thing when you have money, man. You know, a lot of times people get divorced, regular people get divorced because they go through the trials and tribulations of dealing with each other, and they have to deal with each other after that fucking bullshit. When you got money, you can just separate and come back if you so choose to.
And we just and we don't know what went on in that marriage, the violations that went on in that marriage. This to me seems like a revenge move. I know a revenge move when I see it. I've done them. Women are super vindictive, and they gonna come to you like a thief in the night when you least suspect it. I've done it. I did a real good one.
I don't care. I don't care what Black China says, and I don't care how many Bibles she reads. I will never ever believe that her move to get with Rob Kardashian was not revenge.
Of course it was.
She always denies it, but I don't believe it. I'm like, girl, I don't care how many Bibles or how many churches you visit. I'm not gonna believe you.
Yes, of course. And it's like that rivalry between Jordan and Pippen was too, I mean, come on, that shit was a staple in basketball. You're not going to tell me that she didn't consider that. But there had to be, I mean, an immeasurable amount of disrespect within that marriage. We don't know who Pippen fucked while married to her.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Exactly. We don't know. So she was like, and if she has his kid.
How long were they married?
I don't know.
I'm just long enough to have 4 kids. Okay, so that's a lot of long suffering because she's with a major ball player, right? She could be with the bench warmer ball player, and she's gonna go through a lot. But she's with a major ball player, baby. I can only imagine. And then she seems like she a deep piece too. So I'm picking up on a lot of,
Yeah, but she this would be, if she wants to remain relevant or whatever, she could go ahead and get pregnant. Now she may be running around with a little Down syndrome baby, but it'll keep her in the blogs. Just saying. It's up to her.
Okay.
Choice is hers. I'm just saying at
Well,
48, you stand a good chance. Your baby's eyes are going to look like Ice Spice. That's on you, though.
Ice Spice eyes.
That's on you.
Ice Spice always look like she don't know where she at. Like
All right.
they just prop her there like a plant. Like just plop her.
Serious, man. She got those motherfucking. She has those eyes in horror movies when the little white girl gets possessed and shit like
how do
that.
you perfectly like throw your body this way and then your head like the way she.
Yeah, man. It looks like some horror movie shit. Like no saying, I kid you not. You know when you watch the horror movie and the little white girl gets possessed, and before that she's bouncing all over everything, like oh my god, and she's just happy and shit. And then the moment she gets possessed, she's like, "Are you okay? Yeah, I'm all right."
Oh, that's Ice Spice.
Like,
But see, okay. But this is so funny. This is what did I say this yesterday? But I talked to my sister. My youngest sister's 23, and I was really trying to get to the bottom of this. I was like, what is it about Ice Spice that separates her from the pack, that makes her get prepared? And she said the same thing that Moxie said, but she said the word that she used was, she's adorable. Oh, okay, there's a lot of people on TikTok that's adorable, but they don't.
Don't.
I don't. I'm not understanding this.
Look, I'm not.
No one can give you an answer for this.
I mean, most people say, you know, what I mean, she's adorable, she's light skinned, she's this. It's the image. Most people are just into the image, and it works for her.
I mean, because she gives me any TikTok user, just any TikTok user.
That's how she started her career.
Now I don't think here's what I'm not gonna do. Like I'm not you can't piss on my leg and tell me it's rain. She's a funny looking kid. She's funny looking. She's funny. It's like and it's funny because you can look like a fucking troll, and all somebody got to do is throw a wig on it, put it on stage with a microphone, and everybody's convinced. Like, oh my god, it's cute. No, the fuck it's not. You would walk past that girl and think, oh my gosh, she got Down syndrome and a big ass. Oh wow, that's what you would think. We must stop this. We bring back shaming.
I'm not sure what I really have to look her up, unless you can throw a picture up there.
She looks like a little creature, but I don't know which one yet. I don't know if it's a possum or she looks weird, and then she has that very autistic look to her. Like her eyes are vacant. Like she and I've seen those kids before because I went and tried to work with them one time. It didn't work out, but
oh God, why would you do that?
It was
listen, I can do that. Jen, you have no business. Let me tell you, my aunt did it. My aunt did it. My aunt has a lot of patience, but she couldn't even make it. When she couldn't make it, because I think one of the kids hit her and spit on her, and she fucked his little ass up, and so that was her last day.
Oh no.
Yeah,
she's you have to just Google this weird looking chick.
That's one of the reasons why I never worked with kids.
I'll Google it.
Even though I love kids, I never worked with kids because if your kid is bad and your kid swing on me, I'm fucking your kid up, man.
Can we stop talking about hitting children? You don't have to fuck up a kid. I mean, a kid. What is what damage is it?
If a 16-year-old kid hits me,
I mean that's different. I mean you have to stop. You got to stop someone from attacking you. But let's just stop.
Exactly, Janicia.
That's my government. I don't know what my government had to do with this. Lord, what is happening tonight?
I would stop him.
What is going on?
Oh, you know what? I had this. Oh my God, this was about right before I started coming up on the show. Right, I went to get something to eat up the street. There was this young man, 16, with his mother. He had autism. He was 6'6". That's not the problem. The problem is he thought I was his girlfriend.
Oh.
He was insistent that I was his girlfriend.
Oh.
He was insisting that that I was going home with him and his mom.
Oh.
Oh, 6'6". Looks like, I mean, like built like stocky. And he's like, come on.
What you don't want is one of them giant men who are off. Those mentally ill men that are
That's what I'm
giants.
telling you. And he was grabbing,
Yeah, you
and I'm
don't
looking
want
at
to.
this mother. I'm like, ma'am, your 16-year-old son is molesting me. Like, could you get him off of me? And she's like, oh, I'm like, she's looking like Jada's mom. Oh, no, bitch, it's not time for that. Your son is like a
Right.
giant. And he was like, Mom, she's my new girlfriend. Like and when he turned around and he yelled at his mother, he was like, you're
Mm.
embarrassing me in front of my new girlfriend.
Oh.
I said, oh, so she doesn't even get respect. Oh,
So yeah, so it's I mean if he's off, yeah, but
I was scared.
The Ice Spice kid is weird. And then it's like it's weird, like in her mind, she looks like she's counting, right? And she's rapping. And then
Yes.
it's like it literally looks like,
It's
okay, I'm supposed to do 20 of these and then bend over.
That's literally what it looks like.
Crowd goes wild, and then she performs again.
I'm gonna get an orphan Annie
One,
wig
two,
for you
three, four.
in Vegas. I want you to do that.
Get Lily. Do you
Oh,
have a wig that
yes.
looks like that?
I
I'll be
will
more
bring
than
one.
happy.
That is
I
a
I'll
will
be
bring
more than
one.
happy to do it.
Yes.
I will be more
Yes.
than happy to do it because it is fucking ridiculous.
That shit is hilarious.
Listen, what do you say? Hotels. He said Ice Spice looks like a slow chick. The whole hood smashed. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. She does look like that chick that's floating that everybody got a piece of.
What is this though on
It's
stage?
so weird watching her yell. She always looks so confused.
Right? Oh my god! And then
Yeah,
you notice
they
that
turn her-
when she's
they
on
turn her
stage, and then
sideways.
she looks around like
Yes.
at the DJ, like where's my cue? Was I supposed to?
Hey, no, look that way. Look that way.
That is literally what she looks like. Okay. Oh God, I've got to clip this, and then I'm gonna clip this, and I'm gonna post, and I'm gonna add a clip of her doing just that.
It's fucking tough. We're gonna do it in Vegas. We'll do it in Vegas. I cannot. We need that little orphan Annie wig.
Oh yeah, somebody said she never puts her purse down either. Well, if she's at Kim K's house, I wouldn't put her down either. Kim look like she's still. I always say that about people. I always say that randomly. I'm like, she's like she's still.
Oh my goodness, Larsa Pippen gets. Oh, look how I spell half.
What happened?
Oh. I
had an Ice Spice moment.
Right, we were talking about Ice Spice.
This is what I was doing when I was typing.
That is literally how she looks. Oh, God.
At this point, they could put a fucking monkey
They
on
really
stage
can.
Yes.
in a
They
way,
can.
and it'd be more entertaining though.
Yes. And if the monkey twerks, it is a wrap.
Oh,
She's
if
going
they
straight
get
to the top.
if they can get that monkey to bend over on cue.
Yes,
Woo!
straight to the top. Straight to the top.
There's something different about her. I think she changed her hair. Oh, cool.
Right. And then we'll have all the women like, yeah, that's right, get it, girl. Yeah, she hot. I mean, they did it with Glorilla. She looks like she looks like that thing that was
Glorilla?
chasing. She looks like that thing that was chasing the nut in Ice Age.
I can't get over the spread out eyes, man.
Right. And he had his eyes over here. And I don't know if was it the one that was chasing the nut? There was one with two eyes over here. Am I thinking of the right cartoon?
Yeah,
you are. Yeah, you are. I see it in my head.
That's what Glorilla looks like with a wig on. Same body, by the way.
Glorilla looked like she came straight out of the alley. Like straight out of her and her ratchet ass friends dancing on the car.
Spro said Glorilla is gross. No, she is gross. And then the way she talks.
Right.
We didn't drinking that. Fox is real. That Fox is real. Oh, who are these people? Why are we here?
What is going on? What is going on? It's like the opposite. Like, do you have talent? Oh no, we don't need you. Like it's like the least talent they can possibly. It's like they're playing in our face at this point. That's what I feel like most of the time. I'm like, these folks is playing in
It's
our
funny
face.
too because I wanted to do a skit like that, but now that I'm gonna have all you guys together, we shall do it. I wanted to do a
Oh,
skit. I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you
okay.
guys in the Google chat. All right, guys. So moving on. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Ah,
she does give me
Tristan
alcohol
said,
fetal realness. Glorilla does give you alcohol fetal syndrome realness.
Tristan said I went full Ricky Gervais. Listen, he's an atheist too. You got to see his movie, The Invention of Lying. The Invention of Lying by Ricky Gervais is fucking amazing. Oh, I watched Idiocracy. Remember, David gave us
Oh,
that homework. I
that's
watched
what I was about to say.
Idiocracy. It is literally our world right now.
Oh my God.
Like it's literally our world right now. And but The Invention of Lying is so good because it's a world where lies have never been invented. So everybody just tells the truth. Like lies have never been invented. There's no such thing as
Oh,
a lie. Nobody knows what a lie is. So, for instance, like they'll be on a date and he'd be like, they were talking about dating each other. And she was like, no, because I'm afraid if I date you and we have children, our children going to have that nose, your nose, and I like your nose. So there's no lying there. It's amazing. Like you have to see, I have to watch it again, The Invention of Lying. And he's so good at comedy. Like Ricky Gervais is so fucking good at comedy. Like without trying, he has that what's that other guy, the chubby guy that lost weight? Jonah Hill.
Yeah, some
They
people
just
have that
they
thing.
just show up and then they funny. Like they haven't said anything yet. They're just
Is that like
looking at what's being said.
is that Melissa McCarthy? She does that for me too. She don't. She just walks in and I just start laughing and I'm like, oh, this is the scene where her grandma dies. Okay.
Yeah. No, she's
Yeah, like
great. She's great. Yes, Bro said it's a brilliant film. It really is. It really is a brilliant film. The Invention of Lying. I liked it very much. I cared very immensely. So, guys, let's talk about
what's the tea?
did Meagan Good choose the Pookie versus the nice guy? Did
Child.
Meagan Good chooses the bad guy? Let's pull up the picture real quick for the people that just came in the room. Hit that like and subscribe, and let me show you what Miss Ma'am, why she is in los redes and on our timelines translation. And here she is. Why do Meagan Good girls like bad boys? That is Meagan Good with her new boyfriend, Jonathan Majors, recently charged with domestic violence. His trial date is August 3rd, coming up. She showed up like the very doting girlfriend in the shades, like she didn't want to be seen. Yet you're showing up to a court date with, one of the biggest
You're,
scandals of Hollywood, but I
and
don't
you're
want to be
showing up
seen.
as Megan Good too.
I don't want to be seen. How's my hair look? I don't want to be seen. Um, so she shows up to, be by his side, and Haran had an interesting theory.
Oh, let's
We
hear it.
know that, yeah, we know that the domestic violence charge came after Jonathan Majors, put the beats on his white girlfriend, right? Basically, then she recanted, then she doubled down, right? So Haran said maybe because remember they were fighting over text messages on his phone. Jonathan Majors was texting another woman, and that'll get you every time, right, guys? We still haven't learned. And Haran raised the question: what if he was texting Meagan Good that night?
Ooh, juicy.
Very, very
That's plausible.
jugoso.
because if you kind of think of the timing of it, I mean, Megan Good just shows up,
Right.
shows up. Like, it's like a random cameo in a film that's going nowhere anyway, and it's like, oh, it's Megan Good. Like, okay, I can't figure out the connection. It has to be something. It has to be
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, I mean the timing is definitely convenient. I would, if I was a betting man, I would say odds are that that was going on probably close to the same time all this happened.
Something was going on. It's going to have to be one or two things. It's either that or she's a paid girlfriend for image purposes. But even that, I mean, even if they were to do that, that's not even a good move. Like,
Right.
because it's so obvious. Like, if that, you know what I'm saying? It's too obvious if that's the way that they're gonna go. It's like, oh, let's get you a black girlfriend to get you back in the graces of the black people. And it's like everybody, because everyone thought it was fake anyway when it first came out.
Right. You know what I think about Hollywood? I think Hollywood hasn't caught up to, or they're in denial of the current environment of things,
That's
right?
it.
Those fake relationships to hide somebody was gay,
Right.
to hide that someone was racist. Those fake relationships, they worked back in the black and white days, Marilyn Monroe, the Rock Hudson days, all that shit. Now everyone is cynical. The cat's out the bag. The Wizard of Oz, we could see it was just a man behind a curtain. Things are different now. So when he popped up, and we know Jonathan Majors likes white women. When he popped up with Meagan Good, you know, all in the comments, they're like, so what are you having for lunch? This ain't our problem, X, Y, and Z. Because people are seeing through the bullshit now. Spro's here. What's up?
Okay.
Okay,
Hello.
Spro. You
Hello,
Hello.
blessing
hello.
us with your presence.
Yeah, you know what it is. So who we talking about? Johnny Majors
Johnny Majors. Johnny
and
Majors showing up to court with Meagan Good
and
Good.
Meg.
Meg
Who
with the
cares?
good.
Who cares?
Well, I don't even think Jonathan cares, but
Here's the thing. So, like, just to address, I guess, the heading, oh, good girl, like Megan Good, she left. So I'm guessing the good guy was her husband, who she
Mm-hmm.
got divorced from. Okay, what makes him a good guy? Why? Because he's a
well,
pastor.
quotation
Okay,
marks.
well, okay, because let's keep it a buck. He stays out of he's not like a bad guy, like especially as far as celebrities go. Even if he is a celebrity pastor, and we all know about them, he even by celebrity pastor standards, yeah, he's a clean cut guy. Is just because she's with Jonathan Majors now, and just because he's going through a legal thing, doesn't mean that means she left the good guy versus the bad guy. If I had to, because it's none of my business, and like I don't give a shit. If I had to guess as to why Meagan Good left her husband from before, it was because he's a celebrity pastor. That comes with things, along with just the regular stuff with marriage, and then the regular stuff with marriage on top of you're both people of influence. And then not only are you people of influence, your husband is like a religious leader. Yeah, Meagan Good obviously wanted to live life as Meagan Good, being a celebrity and being a woman. She's attractive. Like she's old as shit. She's not old as shit, but like she's an older woman, but like, she's bad. She wanted to not have to, probably, if I had to guess, be under those constraints. So it wasn't even about it being a good man or bad. Even if he was a politician, it probably would have kind of been like the same thing. So I don't think it's a good guy, bad guy thing. The Jonathan Majors thing, and I'll wrap it up soon, it's interesting because I've noticed ever since it came up, I haven't really looked into it a whole bunch. So like I don't know all the deets. But one thing I find interesting is no matter what side of whatever you're on, everyone is kind of talking about it like they're allegations for once with a situation. Everyone, no matter what side you're on, because like the red pill guys, they're all mad about it because they're like, haha, see, they lying. And then everyone else is like, white girls, you see. So like everyone's no one's saying like if he definitely did anything. I think everyone's just kind of like, where will this go? So I think that's interesting about the Jonathan Majors thing. As far as what Haran said about her being the girl he was talking to, probably. And
Okay.
yeah, please.
So here's why I think it's a very stupid move. And as time goes on, I guess, and with the social media explosion, I guess I gave people a lot more credit than they deserve, because the stupidity is profound, right? The worst thing you can do when you have a woman scorn, no, Saint, your shit is fucked up today. I don't know why. I just muted you, but unmute yourself before you talk. You know, the worst thing a man can do, and I keep telling you guys this, the worst thing a man can do with a woman scorned on his ass is show up with a bad bitch, show up with a chick with status. I see it happen at fucking family court. The motherfucker thinks he's doing something. Yeah, I'm gonna show my baby mama I moved on. Walks in, with a little me. And that chick drags his ass and digs her heels and her fucking talons in even further, because a woman scorned. Why would you, while you're about to go on trial, this woman is pissed off now? Because remember, after that fight, she tried to get back with him. And he texted her, we're done, right? Leave the keys, we're done. So it goes to show that she wanted to return to that relationship. And he said, oh, no, we're done, right? So on top of that, she's feeling the ways. She's the one that got allegedly messed up, or her arm got twisted, or her lip was bloody, whatever it was, whatever the injuries were, or the injuries she's claiming, right? She's going to feel now like she got the short end of the stick. She lost the guy. Now she has to go through this court thing. He won't talk to her. And you pulling up with Meagan Good? Watch this. And I'm white and you're black. Watch this. Because even if he's found not guilty of anything, he's already stained. And he doesn't exactly look, and I'm going to keep it 100 here, and some of you will get offended, and that's okay for the algorithm. But he's not even a pleasant looking black man.
I've
right?
tried to squint and I can't.
This is not Shamar
He's big as
Moore.
hell.
Listen, this is not Shamar Moore getting in trouble, because we know women, you can be a serial killer, and if you got to look to you, bitches are writing letters. Okay, if anything, if white serial killers showed us anything, is bitches are bad shit. Long as you're attractive, right?
Oh, even
But
black ones.
Jonathan Majors, he's not that guy. He looks intimidating. He's facially just challenged. Okay, he has a very strange manner of which he speaks and moves his body. Even if he's found not guilty, he's gonna be fucked. So I don't know. I don't think the Meagan Good thing. Let's fix my image. Let's show that I like black women. I do not know, because for everything there should be a reason for everything. I don't see the sense in him running around with Meagan Good like he's on Hollywood Boulevard and they're going to Starbucks. I do not see the point. I don't see how that benefits him. He's not married to her, so it's not like he's going to bring her in like, look, I'm a good husband. I got a wife now. I don't see it. Like, where are your people? Do you have any advisors? What the fuck was that about? What was it for? Then you're dressed like a runaway slave. Your shit is disheveled. He chose
His
a suit.
lips is ashy.
He chose a suit that looks like you literally pulled it out of the bottom of the garbage bag. Why? Like, he has no advisors. Nobody's saying anything.
I just
He
want
has no
telling
mama.
I just want to note that if he took that jacket off, he literally, with just that shirt and that brown pants and his look, you could literally just throw him in 12 Years a Slave. And I'll just leave it at that.
And the hair was fucked up. It wasn't
The way-
even
the
lined
way that he
up.
looked,
Like,
you could literally just throw him in there. Probably CG him in him and you know what I mean, and just have it rocking like that.
who are
So,
your
so,
friends? Who are
so
your friends?
you're confirming from what that young lady said that he looked like he belonged in a slave. Who said that he looked like he belonged in a slave movie? We had a
Oh,
topic.
no, a couple of women on Twitter said that he has that civil rights look.
Civil rights look. That's it.
I
But
think
I think it was probably one of us that probably said slave movie. Actually,
Is he the
Probably.
guy
I think
that is he the guy that played in the Creed movie? Is that the same
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
guy?
the
Okay,
antagonist.
okay.
He's the antagonist. If I may read from an article straight from Psychology Today saying why women choose nice guys or bad boys. Okay, understanding women's preferences for different types of mates, men as mates. Key points here. Research has compared women's preferences for different types of men as nice guys, bad boys, heroes, and losers. Generally, women who want support prefer nice guys, whereas women who want to fling prefer bad boys. Ultimately, however, many desire the hero who is both supportive and attractive, but those men can be harder to find and harder to get.
makes sense. That was
Straight to the
very
point.
well worded.
Yeah, straight
Right.
to the point. Very concise.
I'm not mad
Post
at
a
that
link
at
to
all.
that in the chat. I want to look at that. No, too, that was so like just like, oh yeah, and like I don't think anyone, like, you would have to wrestle to struggle with disproving that.
Right. What's up, Chocolate
Yeah.
Earth? I see you.
Which
Okay, so
goes to my point. I don't think
wait
Jonathan
one
Majors.
second. Wait 1 second, bro. I just want to throw in a little bit more points into there. So we'll go with a couple of the prototypes right here. So when we go to dominance, the concept of dominance, they say bad boys and heroes were seen as more dominant than nice guys and losers. When it's supportiveness, Nice guys and heroes were seen as more supportive than bad boys and losers. In terms of physical attractiveness, heroes and bad boys were presumed to be the most physically attractive, losers as the least attractive, and nice guys somewhere in between.
Again, very reasonably worded. Who is this guy?
Ladies, I'm going to get some feedback from both of you.
The word. I'm sorry. I was distracted with my fan, the chat, and looking at my text. My bad.
Okay, I don't have nothing.
Yes,
you could. Yeah,
please.
Read it again, but I didn't.
Yeah, because it's short. It's short. So read it again.
Let me read it again. Okay, so in terms of dominance, bad boys and heroes were seen as more dominant than nice guys and losers. Supportiveness, nice guys and heroes were seen as more supportive than bad boys and losers. Physical attractiveness, heroes and bad boys were presumed to be the most physically attractive, losers as the least attractive, and nice guys somewhere in between.
Okay, so all right, so
it sounds like the heroes, the best person to be with all around. They made top every single time. They were on top.
Now, based on a number of the discussions that we've had here on the show, it seemed that heroes do make sense because I constantly keep hearing that from the both of you and a number of women outside of, in the real world, you say that you prefer a balance. You prefer a man that's balanced, a little bit of supportive, a little bit of, bad boy, someone who is in a combination of all of the things that you enjoy. I notice that a lot of times when it leads to divorce, the gentleman, when they discuss the gentleman, he's either too bad boy or he's too loser.
They want Tony Stark.
There you go.
They want Tony Stark.
There you go.
Asshole. He's confident, but he has a moral compass. He serves his community. He got the bag. He's smart. He's creative. Tony Stark.
And he loves his chick too. Even when he acts like he doesn't.
Loves him some Pepper. Yeah, you're right.
Bro, I keep telling people, be Tony Stark, not Victor Von Doom.
Victor Von Doom is the red pill. He's a red pill influencer because like he's got like a bag, like he's got something going on, but like he's the bad guy.
Exactly.
So let's talk about because men seldom know balance. Seldom. Right? No one teaches a man balance. They teach him to go out there and conquer pussy and provide. Conquer pussy and provide and have children. No one is teaching men, especially other men, no one teaches men swag. Right? No one's teaching them to be the Tony Starks. They're teaching them grow up, be strong, be a provider, take care of your children, blah, blah. They're not teaching them swag. So men are coming out here, right? And unfortunately for the men that are coming out here with just those two things, provide, and protect, right? Unfortunately for them, women are raised with a lot more whimsy. So when I hear men say, oh, she wants the Pookie and the Ray Ray. Oh, she wants the bad boy. It's not that. It's that she would sacrifice being with a lame or a nice guy for the adventure and the excitement of the bad boy. It's not that a woman wants to be treated badly. No woman in her right mind, I'm not talking about a bitch that's insane and likes drama. I'm talking about no woman, just a regular woman, is not going to volunteer to be treated badly or to be abused, right? However, she will take the risk with a guy that's more edgy, quote unquote bad boy, than a life with a lame, with a boring person. That's just how it is. She'll lean towards this way, right? But men do the same thing. They like the wild girl. They'll marry the nice girl, but then they like the wild girl, right? So women are similar in that aspect, but the men that don't have the swag or the Tony Stark or don't do balance well, what they do is they automatically, she want the bad boy, good for her. That's why that happened. I'm like, you're just mad because you don't know balance. You're just mad because you don't know how to do it. That's why you're mad. You're not mad at her. You're mad that you got picked over for a fucking Pookie and a Ray Ray. But what does that say when you get looked over for a Pookie and a Ray Ray? That means you're fucking lame.
I think it varies depending on the person and the situation. And to answer your question about like, oh, like swag, you know, like they aren't teaching swag. Jen, you can teach a man to cook, but you can't give him the sauce. The sauce is just something that you have. Now, get this. If you can learn to cook, you can get by, but you may not have the sauce. Now, if you have the sauce, that also means you can't cook. Now, I feel like there are a lot of, I know like Pookie and Ray Ray's like bad boys. They can get with girls, but honestly, we starting to get older now. We were young men. The things that they were doing, it could have worked out for them, and like they'll get farther than like someone else who doesn't have the sauce there. But if they don't learn how to cook, they're going to fall off. And like the women get older, and they're eventually the bad boy, I guess, like the stuff that you were describing, because like it's worded. I feel like because men and women are different, we're all observe the same things, but we word them differently because we're rationalizing the conclusion of what we're seeing in front of us differently. So like even the wording of like how you were saying it just now, I was sitting here like, like a little bit of it kind of triggered the past me a little bit.
Yeah, oh,
I'm like,
absolutely.
yo, the wording. And I'm like, yo, there's going to be a lot of cats that are going to hear what she's saying. And they're going to be like, oh, because she don't want to be with a lame. You're a fucking lame.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's like, no, she's right. She's right. I don't think I would have worded it that way. Again, because it depends on like if we're trying to communicate a message and who we're trying to communicate it to. But
hold on a second. So Chocolate Earth and James, if you want to come up, feel free to come up and argue. Go ahead, bro.
James, yes. Do come. Join us, brother. But yeah, the sauce. You gotta have the sauce.
So I'll say this. You're absolutely right, because Justin was here before and he made a great point. Women talk about the 666 all the time, right? You got to be 6 feet tall. You got to have 6 feet. And when you break that down, it's not literal. It's just a shortcut for us to say, I just want to feel like you can protect me. That's the 6 feet, right? You don't literally have to be 6 feet, but we use that in place of, I just want to feel like I'm protected when I'm with you, right? And then the 6 figures, I want the 6 figures. I just want to make sure we don't get evicted. That's it. Can we not get evicted? And can we have enough money maybe to go on vacation and nice dinner dates? We don't literally mean 6 figures, please. The 6 inches, what does that translate to? It just means, can the sex be good? Right, please me. Can the sex be good? Can the sex be spontaneous? Right. Can the sex be good? Can the sex be spontaneous? But it's just easy for women to say 666. And every time you say that, men are like, the majority of men on the planet are 5'7" anyway. Like they get really, really offended. And I don't know what men they're talking about.
It's because those men, like men are, again, we communicating differently. The same, if anything good has ever came from like the red pill that I would be like, yo, 100% up and down, they hit it right, is hypergamy. And even now they'll use it to like justify like some kind of like they'll say, oh, hypergamy is a thing. Women are hypergamous, but then use that as a shot towards their character. And it's like, no, it makes perfect sense. And I knew that then when I first had heard about hypergamy, I was like, yo, that like looking at my life and my interaction with women, yo, it makes sense. Why wouldn't they? And then I think about my daughter. Oh, she hell better be hypergamous. Like, cause like what's gonna happen? She can be out here in the street. She's gonna get with like some loser that like can't like protect her and take care of her kids. No, you guys have to be hypergamous. But I think when people hear that, it's like, oh, well, that means she's gonna want, because like young girls, real shit, they're hypergamous, but they're also stupid. So they go to the extreme. So they're looking at their fellow 22-year-olds, like their 22-year-old male peers, and they're like, why don't you like have a retirement plan yet? And it's like, because he's 22. All right. Like now, like get on with it. But look at this. She shouldn't be shot down because like she will mature. She will grow out of that. And the young men need to honestly, like, if they weren't so worried about getting with the girls and just like, hey, just focus on becoming Tony Stark, like focus on that. And they will, if you build it, they will come.
You know, Jen, you just said something. And I'm reading this of the article, and I'm hearing Lily also. And based on what I know about the both of you, I can see why you both want the hero. I'll speak on it real quick. They say the women who pick heroes, however, are looking for the complete package: dominance, support, and attractiveness in a single mate. Although they may be a bit anxious at times, hence the appeal of a dominant hero, they have high self-esteem. They also have an interest in both passionate and compassionate love with a partner. as noted in other studies. The type of woman who wants it all also tend to be the most desirable mates themselves. So they are most likely to be able to attract the heroic mate they desire too. So essentially, women who want it all usually go for the hero. Now we'll break it down even further. So women who pick nice guys, in contrast, are prioritizing emotional support instead. They tend to
Hmm.
have higher self-esteem, a more restricted interest in sex, or a bit of both. Overall, they are making the opposite trade-off in a mating choice than the women who pick bad boys. Specifically, they are picking a conscientious, long-term partner who is willing to commit, even when that partner is not the most attractive or dominant option. So, well, I guess that would be the simp. So when women who pick bad boys tend to be prioritizing short-term physical attraction or long-term emotional support. That may occur because they simply want to hook up without commitment. They may also be avoidant and have difficulty trusting a partner, especially with greater emotional intimacy. They might have low self esteem and are simply selling themselves short too. In any case, the short term sexual attraction with the bad boy is all they want or all they think they deserve. And I'm beginning to understand where the confusion is, because if you listen to the red pill, every single woman who doesn't choose them is the woman who has low self-esteem.
So I like but when I was on Kendra G, she said something about, when she asked me, oh, what do you want? And I was like, oh, the 666s, because I knew that shit would get people riled up. But she was like, well, you look like, she told me, you look like it's easy for you to date those type of guys. So there's nothing wrong with you wanting that. And then she quoted comedian Carlos something that said, whatever it is you're desiring or saying that you want, you should have at least two of those in your world, and one should be pursuing you. So I was like, oh, then it's a no fucking brainer then, if that's how you're going to judge it. So whether you're a man or a woman, right? Because women, I want blah, blah, blah. And men are like, I want her to be this. I want her to be submissive. I want her to be feminine, fit, and fit. Do you have those women in your environment, in your phone, and is one of them pursuing you? I think that's fair.
That's facts. That's facts.
I think that's fair.
Um,
That's facts.
James, to a guy will be all of these things, and what does he get? An average woman. Well, James, I have had a
Yo,
woman.
cam up, please.
I
So
have.
I'm
I
so
have had.
so listen, I'm not
Wait, I
he's
just
not
want to say something. I just
okay,
want to
but
say
I'm ignoring him because he's not gonna troll from the chat unless he's super chatting. Or you could come up, James. Like, we're not gonna make the show about him. He's gonna troll from the chat and our attention's gonna be taken to the chat. Fuck that. Either cam up or super chat. You're killing me right now. One or the other, buddy.
All right, so I'm just going to speak on that real quick, though, and that'll be that. For a person who's actually who has actually been all those things and met women who are all those things, you don't get an average woman. I've met some
Hello.
amazing. Okay, I've met some amazing.
Mm.
All right, like I don't really know what you're.
Unless he just settles for the average woman that like they work together, they're
I'll
around each
tell
other.
y'all something that's straight up right now, and both of the women in this room will agree to this. Okay, and I'll be straight up with you. I told them, I was like, look, back in my days when I was, when gigging or whatever, I mean, shit was on point and so on and so forth. I'm keeping it real and transparent with y'all. When shit was right, the moment I walked into a room, I barely had to say anything. I did not need that much game. Women did the talking for me. They either did whatever they needed to do to get my attention, so on and so forth. As I have gotten older, a nigga has to put into a little bit more work into shit. I do admit. But the point here that I'm making to you is that if you walk into the room and you're that dude, you don't have to do as much work as these red pill guys are actually telling you that you have to do.
So thank you, E Black, for showing Lily Washington's YouTube channel some love. I hope you're coming tomorrow. We're going back into the atheist versus religion. So I hope you're available, E Black. It's like I said before, there's the real world and then there's YouTube, right? There's what men, what successful men experience in the real world. And then there's YouTube. There's not a man who's going to be six figures, great in bed, 6 feet or over 6 feet and end up with an average woman. Those bitches aren't even in his dating pool.
No.
They're not in his environment. Okay. If that man has all of those boxes checked, he's going to have the baddest on his arm. Average men get with average women and vice versa. Okay. Everybody has their dating pool. The problem with YouTube and all these YouTube stepdaddies that these guys have is that they're really making them believe that in the real world, you can have all of that as a man and still end up with an average woman when you're a completely different dating pool. Completely different. You're at different lounges, you're at different parties, you're at different jobs, you're at different vacations, you're just in a whole different world. But on YouTube, they met a lot. They had a lot of these lames believing now that it's like, so I could have all of that and I'm still going to end up with an average woman. Probably you, yeah, because you didn't have the sauce to begin with, and now you're cosplaying as Tony Stark, which is great for Comic-Con. Not so much for real life, you see.
Mm-hmm. That somebody taught them how to cook. They just ain't got the sauce. That's all that is.
And I wouldn't even say aim for Tony Stark. Those are some big shoes, right?
Explain Mark Zuckerberg. His billions explain him. He's right. He's a shell.
He's way above average with them billions.
Right. He don't have to say a word. Nothing.
He could be a walking stump.
Right. Because he's like a robot anyway. He's like a clone anyway. So it's but no one cares.
No, Saint, you were saying?
No, I was just saying that I keep on wanting to call him Spruce. Spro. I was saying, I'm finding more and more that the more he talks, the more I think I agree with a lot of things he says. And he's totally right when we're talking about swag and he's saying you can teach somebody how to cook, but they don't have the sauce. Because, I just look at myself and we talk about this. Like, I can look at a lot of people walking in, athletes, and they're walking in with these great suits, and I'm like, damn, they look sharp. But I can't go to the store and pick out anything for myself because I just can't imagine myself what looks good on me. You know what I mean? I can see what looks good on other people, but I can't go into a store and I guess I'd have to be up with the fashion or whatever to know exactly what's in, because something I might think looks good might not even be in anymore, especially if it's on the sale rack, right? So, so yeah, I find that interesting because, and then we're talking, I'm thinking to myself, just how, like on the 6'6", right? 6 foot, 6 inches or more and 6 figures. And on the 6 figure side, I'm thinking to myself, it's gotta be something more than that. That's gotta be updated. It's gotta be like 6 figures with a number at the front. Cause I'm 6'6" at this point. You know what I mean? I'm 6 foot. I make over 6 figures, and I know I have a family, but that don't go as far as what everybody thinks.
No, it's.
But you got a hot wife. You got a beautiful wife. So
you didn't end up with an average wife, like it does. And I'm sure she picked you because of them 6s. You know what I mean? And we, you know what I mean? It'd be great to, I vote for building your self-esteem over needing pretty words. I'm just that type of girl. Like I prefer to raise your boys and your girls with more self-esteem. So these words aren't so detrimental. They're like, oh my God, why do you have to say lame? Why do you have to,
right.
Right? Because men are very unapologetic about women. We have Spro up here. He said Meagan Good is old as shit. Meagan Good is 41 years old. She's just out of her 30s, right? So men are very unapologetic about how they talk about women. But I say lame, and everyone goes, what? Right? Everyone loses their minds.
Because women, in general, women aren't. are supposed to be the more gentler sex, right? So to have a woman be blatantly honest hurts a guy because they're not used to hearing women.
Right. Well, even that, no saying we could break down. We're like that with men.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm very soft when I'm in a relationship, and if I'm in love, my man will be like, ugh, you know what I mean? And I'm like, this is my man, I love him, so I know I have to tell him a certain way.
Right.
Like, baby, if I were to dip your nuts in water right now, we could make tang. We could totally make tang. You know what I'm saying? I want to help you out, but a little tangy. Just a little.
Right.
But
that's how you do it.
You know, but men are very unapologetic and women are done. They're done. They're like, fuck you if you don't have 666. And it makes them cringe when they don't have the 666. I think Tony Stark is it's a great example, but very big shoes to fill. But I do think he's like the perfect specimen of balance. He loves that woman, very intelligent, nerdy, geeky, wealthy. You know what I mean? I think he's even I'd find him more exciting than like a Bruce Wayne. I think Bruce Wayne is a little uptight. You know what I mean? But Stark is perfect. Yes, that brooding shit. Like they killed my parents 55 years ago. That's
like, Yeah. Like after a while.
All right, gotta get therapy.
Yeah.
All right. So Tony Stark is perfect, but there's there are a lot of guys running around claiming that they're nice, and they're not very nice people at all. Right? They're not very nice people at all. Sometimes I think that the word nice is just, to replace, I'm an asshole and I'm less of an asshole than that bad boy. So you should have picked me.
Right. Yeah. It's a very true statement.
You know what's great though? What's great is the older you become, the older you get, the more you know yourself. So if you were telling me this when I was in my 20s, maybe I'd be confused on which one of those guys I am. Like I'd be like, oh, I know I'm not a bad boy, but today I can pick out exactly where I fit on that exact what Ron was reading. I know, you know who you are, and that's kind of refreshing that you know who you are.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you get there, man. When you're like, this is what I am.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. This is what I can give you. And, I try to help guys all the time when I say that you don't have to be a quote unquote bad boy. I did say that women will risk life and limb to go with the bad boy versus being bored with a nice guy. We will do that because the bad boy's pulling up on a motorcycle, right? However, when I dated Ed, he had a BMW motorcycle. He was a cop on his way to being a sergeant, very smart, but quiet, not a wild guy, very responsible, had tenants, you know what I mean? And that was perfect for me. He didn't have to carry a gun. Matter of fact, he'd forget his gun often and he'd have to come back to the house and I'd hand it over to him like, you know what I mean? So he wasn't like a thug or whatever. So I always say to guys like, you know what I mean? Do the best with what you have where you are, but you have to fucking put in the effort. The problem with men is that they get comfortable really, really quickly.
Yes.
Right.
They say women do, but men get comfortable. Like, oh shit, I conquered the woman. I got her. She's in my house and I'm providing. I'm paying the fucking bills. What more do you want from me? Like, yeah, guy, we need a little more. So I would say practice balance because you could be the nicest guy on the planet. You could even be quiet. You could be unassuming. You could be in the corner. You don't even have to be the best dresser. But I promise you, if you choke that bitch when you deep stroking her, you're going to provide that balance. You're going to provide that balance.
We have a church up here tonight. Hallelujah.
I promise you, you don't have to be the best dresser. You don't even have to be 6 feet tall, sir. But you have to be willing to scare her a little bit every now and then. That's all women want. We want to be scared every now and then. Just scare us a little.
Yeah, when a dude put his foot down every now and then, you like, whoa.
Yes. I mean, every now and then, give her that's a fucking enough. That's enough.
Like, oh.
And it's like, oh.
Oh.
Even if we were talking shit, listen, no saying every now and then tell that pretty little Latina of yours, I said shut the fuck up, that's enough.
That's how you do it.
And if you look, Chocolate Earth is agreeing, yes. And if you're near something, no Saint, give us a slam. I said that's a fucking enough.
She ain't lying. That should do something. You put that foot down every now and then.
Yeah.
Your dick gonna disappear.
After
that shit.
She always
is
gives
not
me
lying.
this little thing of the tick-dunk, 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 tick-dunk.
You'll be like, oh, and then a hair just gonna get undone by itself and shit
Right.
like that.
Every now and then you need that good old
you
damn
every
put
now
down.
right, because women,
Woo.
we love adventure. Like men love the chase, but we like running too. It's exciting, right? It's exciting. So, disclaimer: please make sure she's attracted to you. Don't go chasing nobody. You be handcuffed on the block with Jen, Tony.
You just slam the table. Chase her and slam the table.
Yo,
I punch a hole in the wall. What else can I do around here?
Right.
Like every now and then, like go to a titty bar. Don't fuck nobody at the titty bar. Go to a titty bar. You know what I mean? Get turned down. Watch some porn. Do some wild shit. Or if you're not the rip off panties kind of guy, because this isn't for everybody. I'm helping you out. I'm giving you choices. If you're not in the chokey choke, right? If you're not into that, I'm gonna rip these fucking panties off, and after I finish fucking her, I'm gonna pull a brand new fucking set from La Perla or Victoria's Secret and be like, here you go for the panties I ripped. It's little things.
Little things,
it's
baby.
little fucking. Y'all don't understand how simple women are. We teaching right now.
Teaching
and preaching. Right. Or if you pick her up and throw her in the shower and get the fucking, now her hair is fucked up. Before you walk out, be like, there goes 200 for your hair. I gotta go.
Yeah,
and y'all could be married. She's gonna be holding her titties wet, dripping, like holding the money. Like, oh my God. That's the shit. That's the shit that we call our girlfriends about and be like, I don't know what the fuck happened to Steven, but let me tell you something, okay? Yo no sé lo que pasó, pero mira. Ay, Maria. Those are the things that get those conversations going. Just scare us a little bit every now and then. You know, because women are going to test you. That's another thing. When it's been like for too long, now we're going to start poking at you.
Can we drop the link? My girlfriend Paula wants to come up.
Sure. Come on up, Paula. There goes a link for anybody who wants to come up instead of talking shit in the chat.
You got a few super chats.
Yes, please feel free to. Oh, okay. Let me read the super chats. And cam up, people. We don't do avatars. Thank you, James Oko, for the super chat. James Oko is beating his chest and saying, crushes their soul when they hit the wall and realize they can't even get the nice guys either now. Laughing out loud. And I'm sure when he was typing that, when he laughed out loud, he laughed simultaneously. Laughing out loud. Right. This'll get him. Thank you for the super chat, Fahim Jackson. Fahim Jackson says, there are 3 masculine archetypes: rogue, rake, and refined. I know rogue. I know refined. What the fuck is a rake?
I'm confused. I don't.
Okay. What's rake, darling? What's rake, darling?
See if I can look this up.
Hello, Paula.
Hey, Paula.
Hi.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing really good. We'd love to see a lady up here. Hello, doll. Welcome to the sausage party.
What's funny is this. I saw the topic, and Paula, I sent this to you for that reason. And I know that's why you're up here.
So let me read this last super chat really quickly. So Paula can have her say. Thank you for the super chat. Tom Levon, the hobbyist, says, man, I'm average at best, and I date better than average women. You just got to be creative when it comes to dating women. Anybody can say that. We'd have to first see the women you're talking about that are better than average. And also, what are you offering? Because women will tell you one thing, she's going to tell her girlfriends something else.
I think it's in the picture.
Okay, I got it. Are you ready for the definition for rake?
Yes. What is rake?
Okay. The rake is a man who is socially masculine. He influences people or individual people to his will by means of his attitude, his charisma, and his disdain for following the rules of society and being beholden to another man. While he is capable of using direct elements to accomplish his goals, he lives largely in the subtle world and is always thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead of people around him. He is constantly adapted to new situations and thrives in his ability to do so. He's a playboy, rock star, all-star villain.
Okay, so he said rake, refined, and what was the other thing?
And they have all three here. But
Okay.
we put refine, rakish. Oh, I have the rakish. Oh, rugged, rugged.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we know what
Um,
rugged those are.
yeah, James Ogle says just be Tupac in a suit. Okay. Welcome, Paula. What say you on this? Meagan Good chooses the bad boy. Jonathan Majors supported by Meagan Good at court appearance. We are discussing women picking the bad boy.
Mm. Well, I guess I'm a little nervous to espouse a strong opinion, but I'm concerned. Um,
Okay, well, I don't know what Lily told you about us, but this is where you expound the strong
You
opinions.
can come out with it, girl.
um,
This is the show.
well, I've had my own experience with my fair share of bad boys, and I think it's not the best idea, but maybe she's interested in some excitement, and hopefully she's got her armor on.
Mm.
Okay, what if the bad boy is not a loser?
Good question. So I would suggest, I'm a social worker, I'm a therapist, so I would suggest a cost benefit analysis. Like,
Mm.
are the benefits outweighing the drawbacks?
Hmm. And also, how long do you want to keep them? If you just want to roll in the hay, you know what I mean? Just make sure you don't get pregnant. But if
Yeah.
you want to roll in the hay and it's not life threatening, go ahead with that bad boy. Get on the back of that motorcycle, girl.
Yes.
Get on there.
Of
Um,
course.
you know, my thing is always balance. I stress balance. Like I spoke about a few minutes ago, the guy that I was with had the motorcycle and the Beamer and all that, but he was, straight laced guy, had a legitimate job, was in the police department. But I use him as an example because I think he was the perfect balance, right? Where it's like he was great at keeping the books and great provider, you know what I mean? Very responsible, but he would come pick me up after my little job at 5 o'clock on his motorcycle, and we would speed on the fucking highway. That is life risking. And then he would go like this with the bike in and out of the, thing. By the time we got to Brooklyn, I was well oiled, honey.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So I don't advise women, do not go out there and grab you a Pookie and a Ray Ray because he carries a gun and he may or may not be on somebody's hit list, may have a check on his head. I'm not talking about that. That's dangerous. You don't want to get caught up in a drive-by, girlfriend. However, there are men out there that understand balance. And what happens with men, there's a couple of them barking in the chat, but and in the red pill spaces and the YouTube spaces, they run with it. They exaggerate when we say we want some excitement. That's why you hit the wall and you got Pookie in the Ray, because they're speaking from a place of injury and hurt because they've been rejected. But if we weigh women who've hit the wall, right, in comparison to men who aren't having sex at all right? Statistically, men are not having sex at all and they're becoming angrier about it and the suicide rate is skyrocketing. Women who hit the wall are doing way better than 25-year-olds who can't get laid right now.
And I work with a few of them, so.
And
Can
you're
you?
seeing, yeah, can you expound on
Yeah,
what you're
please,
seeing?
please give us some examples.
Yeah, so without breaking anonymity, I work with a few young males who give off very strong incel vibes, and
Mm.
I've had to stop working with the majority of them because they scare me a little bit.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, they're a little scary. Um, so this guy, I don't know if he fell into the incel category, but he was referred to me, and I never saw him, and you'll understand why in a second. Um, he was referred to me, and when I spoke to him, he explained that he was an adult, but a young adult, maybe like 19 or 20. And he was seeking therapy because he had an obsession with, can I curse on here? I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yes.
He had an obsession with assholes. And I'm not talking about.
You're not talking about personality trait.
No.
Okay.
No. He had an obsession not with asses, but with assholes, and he would struggle with feeling compelled to like doodle them and undress women with his clothes or with his eyes. And he referenced looking up to, I can't remember the guy's name now, but he's well known in what I would call an incel community for teaching men how to fuck bitches, get money, how to
That's
get
a lot of them.
women. And he said that he looked up to the guy not for those views that he espoused, but because the guy was also encouraging these men who were feeling like they weren't getting relationships. He was encouraging them to improve themselves and build their self-esteem and their self-confidence. And so on one hand, he was offering that. On the other hand, he was offering suggestions on how to manipulate. And so I was like, number one, I can't see this guy virtually because I don't know what he's doing on the other side of that screen. And number two, I can't see this guy in person because my ass is nice. Lily can't attest.
Go ahead.
I'm about to say, you do got a nice ass, Holly.
So,
So you gonna say all that and you ain't gonna get up and spin for us? That's what you're doing right now, Paula?
You probably ain't got no pants on. You got pants on?
I don't have any pants on. I just put a shirt on to come on here.
It's okay, me neither. That's what we do here. We streaming our panties. Take that to the bank, fellas. Everybody who's watching. I hope no one's imagining our assholes though.
Right. Yeah. So no, my experience was not like yours with your ex. Mine did not have a motorcycle or any operable vehicle for the first several years that we dated. And so I have just been like in Lily's inbox, like I want y'all to not tear it apart, but I'm very curious on y'all's opinions because I love all of you guys and y'all don't know me like that. But I've attended maybe 4 to 6 of y'all's streams, and I'm like, all of them are on point and have very valuable, insightful opinions. And I was like, I'm slick curious now that I'm out of the problem and into the solution. I listen to you guys and I'm like, I wonder how this applies to me today. You know?
I think because I'm curious about what you're bringing today because we've discussed the incels and the danger that they're posing as this is getting worse and worse as they're becoming more and more sexless and more frustrated. So that for a therapist to come up here to share this from your own perspective, your professional perspective, because they try to make us think we're crazy when we talk about it.
Yeah.
So you're saying we're not crazy, that they're becoming unhinged?
No, totally unhinged.
Okay. We see them in the chat. They be in the chat. They're unhinged.
I saw and I was still,
you see it, right?
Even though it's over the internet, it's still like, oh, I hope they don't become obsessed with her.
Yeah, Lily, we a little crazy.
It really is. First of all, it's bizarre to me. It sounds like she was talking about he might have been a tater tot.
Yeah, it sounds like a tater tot, right? I was thinking the same thing, but then there's so many of them. There's so many of them.
What's
Andrew
that?
Tate
is okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. The guy who's indicted now for sexual trafficking.
But there's so many of them with large followings that have that same message.
Well, what's bizarre to me though is obviously it's these young men today. I mean, I have 3 young boys, but like I'm thinking back, I'm like, I was an incel until I wasn't. I mean, I don't really get it. I don't get it. Like,
yeah, but
I wanted to have sex since I was 15 and didn't, and had to wait my turn.
So did you develop a loathing for women?
No, absolutely not. And that's what I don't understand. Like, why if this guy, you're telling me he's like 19 or 20, well, all right, join the club. You know, I was an incel. I mean, I hate calling myself that because I didn't call myself
You
that back
weren't.
then. You know, but I'm just saying, I was a virgin until I was 20, 21 or something. So, I mean,
Mhm.
you know, and back then it was all like my choice. You know, God, yeah, right. If any girl would have given me the time of day,
You're
it
like,
would have been, I
woohoo!
would have had a different choice.
Like, Jesus, I'll be right back. I'm about to go hit this real quick.
Right,
No,
right.
no saint would have been butt naked wearing that fedora.
I was
Woo!
Right.
waiting. I was waiting until I was going to get married until that situation. I wasn't married, and then I say so. No, I don't get it today. I don't get why guys are doing this.
What's interesting? What's interesting is that these these children that are being guided by their YouTube stepdaddies and what have you. It's sad because what these YouTube daddies are doing are radicalizing them, right? Because these YouTube daddies, they have to sell their t-shirts and their books. So it's very important that I pull you in. That they don't give a damn about these kids, right? It's just like, are you here? Are you buying my pamphlet? Because it's usually a fucking pamphlet. It's never a damn book in its entirety. It's usually a damn pamphlet, why women should be hated pamphlet. So these guys are just teaching these boys to just be more detached from women, and they're sending them out there, and then they'll say things like James, and we like James here, but James will say things like, women are hitting the wall, like the language that young men just shouldn't have, right? Young men should be, you know what I mean, full of life and bright and happy and out there and working and making it shake and dating women and asking women out. They should be very easy to be social, right? They're young. These are young people. Yet these men are in their 20s and 30s and they sound like 85-year-old ogres
Right.
constantly attacking women. So they don't even see that these YouTube daddies are stealing life from them. They're literally stealing life from them and just making it worse because, like I said, there's a YouTube world and then there's a real world. On YouTube, all that sounds good. She hit the wall. She ain't thick. It sounds good on YouTube. It sounds great in a super chat. However, then you got to go out in the real world, and there are real women out in the real world, and you're not going to know how to talk to one. You're
And
not going to know how to relate to one. You're not going to know how to speak. You're not going to know because you're in the, Andrew Tate or Donovan Shaw, women ain't shit, and you're going out there and these men are sitting somewhere. I mean, look at Kevin Samuels. He died under a woman. He wasn't an incel. He wasn't sexless, right? And we can say that about Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate has women falling off of him, even with sexual assault charges. And yet you guys are out here sexless, miserable, attacking women in a YouTube chat box. Like, you don't see it. You don't see that. It's
And then the
weird.
other thing is too that I've been reading up on is like a lot of the incels, they have just given up on life in general. Like they don't refuse to work, they refuse to go to school, they refuse to get careers because they feel like they'll never get a woman. So there's no need. They refuse to take showers. They refuse to do these things. But yes, am I lying, Paula?
You're not fucking lying.
Showers are important. Can we just say that? Can we put that out there?
Whether you get a woman or not, you're gonna have to stand next to somebody.
Yeah, can we confirm that showers are important?
Yeah.
Soap and water is a good thing.
I keep seeing the word compassion, like compassion. Show us compassion, compassion. Like what is wrong with you?
Wait, who wants compassion?
Yeah,
Hi, Chocolate Earth.
What is this compassion shit? Like,
what's up? Oh, I'm sorry, Haran.
like you need to be held. Like, why do you just always need to be held and get attaboys and I just don't get it.
But well, here's the thing. James said that no genuine compassion. You can't have compassion for an animal, someone that is coming at you uncouth, someone that gets nice and loaded from a YouTube daddy and then goes in chats or comment sections and attack women. There's no, you can't expect compassion from women when you behave that way. You just can't.
That's going to turn
it's actually kind of weird asking for compassion after being a complete animal in public, right? Because women, we're born with compassion. That is what we do. We nurture, we breastfeed, we raise. right? That is what we do. We cure. We think we could fix everything. Bring it to mama. I'll fix it. What's wrong, baby? That is how we are naturally. So if a woman is denying you compassion, you have to be some sort of animal, and you have to take accountability for that.
And she's
One or
running
the
the
other.
opposite way.
It's one or the other. Either you're a victim and a little wilting willow and you need love from mama, or you're an animal.
Homie,
You got
love
to make up your
yourself.
mind.
Homie, love yourself. Stop this shit. You
Right.
motherfuckers
Right.
just you're constantly coming from a space of. You sound like homeless people. You just constantly come from a space of gimme, and I need shelter. I need to be held. Like no one's gonna find that sexy. I promise you. No woman's knees are oiled up like a motherfucker if you're constantly sitting there with the whiny tone in your voice, talking about I need compassion, I need to be held. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's not gonna happen. Trust me. Like, stop.
I mean,
Haran.
I broke up with a man once, and he literally, but he suffered from severe narcissistic personality disorder. I mean, he was textbook. And I know a lot of people that word's been overused and misused. You're a narc. You're a narcissist. No, he was clinically
Yeah.
probably one of the worst cases I've seen, and I've read books on it. But even in the books, I was trying to flip through and find him, and I'm like, he's even worse than the fucking shit I'm reading. So he was textbook, okay? Just I didn't find the textbook thus far for this man. But after we broke up, after I was like, this is it, he literally said to me, "You left me out here to fend for myself
Jesus
when you
Christ.
left to me." Verbatim. I'm not paraphrasing. That is what he said. And he was older than me. He said, I left him out there to fend for himself. And he just cemented I made the best decision I could have ever made in all my life. So that reminds me of you have no genuine compassion.
You know who says things like that? Somebody's fucking son says that to their mom when they have like some kind of, you know what I mean, trauma against them. You left me out here to fend for myself.
But a lot of them feel like, but a lot of them are looking for their mama. Like a lot of them are, yeah, but a lot of them are looking for their mama. They're looking for mama replacement, mama 2.0. So when they're abandoned by their girlfriend or wife, they feel like they've been abandoned by their mama.
You can disagree. White Not Learn says, I disagree. You can have compassion for human life. I don't have compassion for all human life. Sorry. I don't. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm Mother Teresa and everybody deserves to breathe oxygen.
I got into a bit of an argument today with one of my boys, and he says that no man left behind. I'm like, dude, just stop that. Okay?
Look, he said that to you? He said that to you, Haran?
He said that to me. And I'm like, look, bro, look,
listen. How long he known you?
We've known each other for a while now, but we're still, he's very much a positive thinker. And they know me. And he says, no man left behind. We have to, I'm like, dude, look, listen. Oh, look, nature, if you don't make the tough decisions in life, nature will make those decisions for you. And sometimes, hey, nature might be in a meeting and it may need me to shove that person's head down the water a little bit to just end and just essentially just help us all out. So we can just all move on with this. You know what I mean? Speaking of, let's just fast forward this shit. We all know
Speaking of, like we covered this here before, where it's like, you know, the weak get left behind. Some animals get eaten, right? Mm-hmm. by their same species, because it's like you're fucking up the herd and we got to go so we don't get killed, right? So that's natural. But I think because humans, we're the thinking animal. So it's like, no, she's stabbing me, but we have to have compassion for all human life. You pull a knife at me.
That's gonna be the last thing you do.
Yes, ever, right? So I'm just bugging out here at how men are just so, I don't know when men, speaking of, R. Kelly called his friend from prison. They dropped the audio today.
Oh,
R. Kelly.
How did that go?
Oh, he was crying. He wanted compassion because they found blood clots in his legs. And they're saying that he was saying, it's on the audio, you guys can look it up later, but he's saying on the audio that animals get treated better. And if this was your child or your husband, whatever, you would want them to get the best medical care. And it's not fair because he needs to die from natural causes. He doesn't need to die from something that a doctor could have fixed. And I'm just sitting there like,
I don't even have words for
May
the
I jump in?
I,
chocolate, please, because
chocolate, you could jump in, but I just wanted
I
to
can't.
say he's happy. He should be very grateful and happy that his form of death didn't come in castration and firing squad. But go ahead.
It's called, excuse everybody on the panel. Hey, how y'all doing? It's called niggadacity. That is what it's called.
I was thinking the word caucasity, but
Yeah, but
I was
no,
like, it doesn't fit though.
it's niggadacity. Yeah, that's it. Because the majority of the time, and Haran, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I was with the man that you're describing. So I dated a dude that threw himself out of the car because I didn't want to spend the night with him. And this was supposed to be, yes, I did, James. I did it myself. Thank you for noticing. Anyway, it's, I had never met a man, being that I was taught that a man is supposed to do these particular things, right? Even though my father did none of those things, he showed me what should be happening, right? And my mom was in a relationship with a man who wasn't doing those things. And she told me, this is not it. What's going on between me and your father? That shouldn't be how it is. But I ended up dating my father anyway, several times, because he was the biggest at the time. He was my motivation for the first relationship I had with a man was my dad. So it's like I dated the narcissist. I dated the crybaby. I dated the mama issues man. I dated a felon. Me and him actually was together for 4 years. I mean, but he had that good D. I couldn't help it. That prison D, that wow, do something to your brain. Because he had been around, like he had been in jail for 10 years.
You got you a virgin. Yes,
Yes, I
why not
did.
learn? Why not learn? Yes, I am condoning abuse and cruel and unusual punishment for pedophiles. Yes, I am. In case I wasn't clear, yes, I am condoning. I'm not even condoning. I'm requesting. I am
Advocating.
hoping.
I'm
I'm
an advocate.
advocating. I'm an
I'm an
advocate.
advocate.
I got I got a couple of things. First of all, chocolate.
Yes.
How's this look? How's this look?
It looks good. I like it. I was gonna
Okay,
tell you.
okay, okay.
I heard you putting out your words. I'm listening. I'm
Right.
listening.
You see him. He doing his thing. He's doing his shit.
Don't think I forgot you called me a snack. Now
Yeah, that's
don't
right. That's right. That's right.
It ain't even
Also,
Friday yet.
I read a comment.
Right.
I read a pretty disturbing comment by James that then the incels aren't going to have compassion when they retaliate. I don't know
Oh, they
what.
can retaliate. They could.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
but he sounds what that sounds like. It sounds like when those guys go off and actually kill people, which is
yes,
really
yes.
disturbing. That's disturbing
But
because
it's a part of the system on here as well. These guys have been connected. That's why the FBI is involved.
but
If it
that's
wasn't a
why.
problem,
But
right?
that's
because
what.
you're expecting every like. Listen, I don't know, man. This is crazy. The more I hear about this, it's an odd world we live in now because I'm thinking to myself, you're expecting everybody out there to have the script of what's going on in your life. And instead of looking at yourself, you're blaming everybody else for not knowing where you're at in your life. It's really odd to me that
It's
that
convenient.
and to see James sit there, and I'm not saying he's condoning it, but like, no, we should be speaking out against these crazy people. I mean, it's crazy to me that they have understanding, I guess, because to me, it's not. I can't understand it. I
Well,
can't
no,
Same.
James.
understand it.
If you don't
Many of
mind,
them are
I would.
beyond help. Many of them are
Oh, I'm
beyond
sorry.
help. No
Well,
problem. But many of them are beyond help. And my stance on many of them is that they are broken. They are defective human beings. Many of them have poor genetics, and they need to be exterminated. So
Well,
if they
okay,
do
I don't
want
know
to
about
turn
that,
up, if they
Thank you.
but I
Thank
can't go
you.
there with
It,
you.
it, it
Yeah.
can, Haran.
Thank
they
you.
do want to turn
Thank
up,
you.
if they do
I want
want
to
to turn
ask,
up,
what's I'm
especially if
sorry.
they have my daughters, what I
Yeah,
mean, in their sights, we can go toe to toe and we can see what happens with
yeah, I
that.
understand. I want to ask, what's the I'm sorry, man. What's the therapist's name?
Paula.
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 Yes.
Okay, I want to ask you a question because the patient you were talking about, you said because I like butts, I'm a booty man, but you're saying he went like deeper in.
Deeper
You
into the
think,
asshole.
yeah, like, and I'm thinking to myself, well, that's interesting. I mean, that's not the prettiest part of it. But my question is this: is did like, because there's all kinds of access to porn and stuff. I'm wondering if porn had anything to do with it, because otherwise, where are you gonna get that obsession? Like, unless you're seeing a lot, you know?
Yes. He just fell under the category of sex and love addiction. And I would venture to say that incels fall under the category of sex and love addiction as well.
Do
Just
you
in
feel
reverse. There's still
and
an
do
obsession with it. They're still putting it on a pedestal and seeking it above, all
Well,
else.
do you think it has anything to do with, like, okay, I don't know how this person was obsessed with the whole, but
No, saying what's going on?
Good.
What do you?
I know, right? Yeah,
No, no.
because she was
What
like
do
one
you need?
example. She just gave one example, but what she
What do
was
you need?
saying
No
is
saying.
the incels in general,
Yeah, no, I get
right?
what you're saying, but to me, I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I don't
It
know
is
what she said.
interesting.
It's
It
an
is interesting.
interesting thing. Like,
And
okay, I want to
I'm
know how
glad
what's going on in the
I mean,
mind of
but
this
I'm
but
person.
glad that you were
but
unable to identify. I'm glad that it didn't make
exactly.
sense to you.
Because no thing, you can have people who are obsessed with the color yellow. I remember
Yes.
that my dad used to work at a mental facility, and it was a lady who would get horny at the color yellow. They had to keep the color yellow away from this lady. She would just take her panties off and she just starts going to town with
It's
that
a trigger. It is a
yellow.
trigger.
She was
It's
triggered by yellow. So but you can't explain all of this stuff.
I know
Yeah.
If you're, hold on really quickly. If you're just coming in, hit that like and subscribe for me. Thank you. We appreciate you very, very much. I do want to go back to what James said, because a lot of these guys try to intimidate women. I see a lot of people in the room right now. This is why I encourage women to not let shit like this go lightly. As a matter of fact, just to inform everybody here in James Oko, if I hear you say something like that again, I'll red flag you. I've red flagged three men already. Okay. I've also called probation officers, and I've also, this is how thorough I am, just so you know, I'm not talking out the side of my neck or playing around. You cannot play with these maniacs. You cannot play with these animals. You just can't play around with them. And what a lot of women do is that they'll take the insults to the chin and keep going and be like, I'll just block them online. Red flag them. I don't know how many times I have to say that. I've red flagged three. There are three men that came at me on YouTube who are now in an FBI file. The FBI is already looking for these animals. Red flag them. Not only did I red flag them, but I called probation officers, I called judges that they went before, and I called prosecutors. Red flag these motherfuckers. The majority of them already have records. But I have to go back to something No Saint said. Just because you are a fucking loser and a lame and you don't know how to relate to women and you go on YouTube and let these YouTube daddies rob you for every fucking penny that you earned, okay, and gas you, okay, to make you even more of an insult and even worse of a catch for women, that's not women's fault. That's not women's fault. If you hate your mama, that's not women's fault. That is not women's fault. So I agree with Haran. They should be exterminated, at the very least, reported and red flagged. And I mean that with every fucking fiber of my being. This is why I tell women to fucking carry, conceal carry, get insured and trained. I am all fucking three. I'm not playing with these animals. You'd have to catch me really, really slipping. And I encourage all women to do the same. Stop being afraid of guns. Stop being afraid of the range. Get yourself fucking insured. So if you got to pop one of these motherfuckers, you're already insured and you have an attorney on the way. Stop playing with these animals, because animals like that shit that James Oko said, and I don't know if he's trolling or playing, but I promise you on everything, I will go to your Instagram page, I will get your picture, and it'll be in an FBI file. I am not the one, and I encourage other women to not be the one on these machines. These motherfuckers get away with too much because they can't get their dick sucked. I am not the one. And as long as any woman can hear the sound of my voice, I am going to encourage women to do the same. You should be exterminated or exterminate your fucking self if you think that women are your problem. We are not your problem, okay? You are your problem. When you look at the mirror, you are your fucking problem. So before you go out in the world and take that out on other women, fuck off, jump off a bridge. And I mean that. So there's my compassion. I hope that was enough compassion for you. These motherfuckers need to be red flagged. Put the FBI on their ass. Put the FBI on their ass. Since, now they're claiming they're not going to have compassion for women. And he's not the first. Whenever you see a man talk like that, it literally takes one fucking phone call. Ladies, you call your girlfriends all day. You call your mama all day. In your city, there is a nearby FBI office. Get their pictures, their screenshots, their names. These motherfuckers tell on themselves all day. They tell you where they hang out, where they live, what clothes they wear, where they shop, what video game store they go to. Red flag these motherfuckers. I did it already 3 times. Play with me if you want. Play with me if you want to. Leave women the fuck alone. If you don't get along with women, if you don't like women, go back under your fucking incel rock. Just go back under your incel rock. Leave women the fuck alone. Go take that out on your mama. No one else is responsible for your rejection. You fucking loser.
Why not?
I'm gonna wrap with this, Aran. Get your fucking pistol. Get trained, get your CCW, and get insured for the attorney, honey. Get insured. These motherfuckers have jobs. And the ones that don't have jobs, they live somewhere. You can get an IP address now for all the ones that think they're hiding behind avatars. You can also get an IP address.
Yep.
Don't play with these clowns. Don't let these clowns play with you. Don't let these clowns intimidate you. And don't wait till it's too late. A motherfucker come at you sideways, red flag that bitch. It takes one phone call to red flag one of these bitches. Just one. Put them down on record somewhere. Put them down. Since they want to be tough guys behind their avatars and their keyboards. Put them in a fucking FBI file. And I digress. Haran, you were saying?
Why not learn? Yes, we are in full support of eugenics over here. I myself believe that women should always be hypergamist. There's a reason why the species has lived this long, because women are naturally hypergamous. Their bodies and their minds, they gravitate towards men who give off a sense of protection, who can provide, who is a nice set of sacks of breeding. So yes, we are in support of genetics or eugenics over here. However, sadly, I think things have gone awry somewhere down the line in terms of the genome. I mean, some of you motherfuckers are descendants of crack babies, so on and so forth. So
descendants.
Yeah, yes. And I'll wait. Yes, Haran, I'm gonna piggyback on that.
Has been fucked up, and some of you motherfuckers just can't get right. And I'm serious. You are just broken toys, and we just won't admit this. I have sat down and tried to have conversations with some of you, and it's no connection. I mean, even if I try to break down my point into the point where I think a 5-year-old can understand what I'm saying, there's just no connection. So yes, many of you are where you are right now because at the end of the day, you just don't got it. You just don't got the stuff. This our therapist right here, this nice young lady came up and told us about all of your wild ideas, and I'm sure she has a number of more stories and so on, and I'm not shocked at all. So
we had a show on eugenics, did we not? I think we covered eugenics. We did cover eugenics. Yes, I am an advocate for eugenics. Yeah, I don't believe in don't do the pity pussy. Pick the best mate. Pick the best mate.
May I add that was
everyone should do that. Every man,
every person,
the best mate. You dudes are sticking your dicks in chicks who have a second grade reading level. You know what I mean? She has a very foul smell between her legs, but you don't give a fuck because it's somewhere.
And then you continue the cycle of degeneracy.
And it's just a sea of bad genetics, and just some of these kids have these weird looking eyes and faces. Literally there are
Ron.
They literally look like bad 5-year-old drawings. You know, like a 5-year-old when they're trying like some of these kids really look like that. I digress though. Let's move on.
I just want
No, I will say this. Well, why not learn says something interesting. He said hypergamy and eugenics is not the same thing. Also, if the creators of eugenics had their way, you probably wouldn't have been born. Here's the thing.
And
We are born and we should follow their lead. We should practice eugenics, okay? Now we don't have to
how would
it
we
doesn't
know
it
if
doesn't
we
have to
weren't
result.
born?
Listen, it doesn't have to result in genocide. Does not have to result in genocide. You know, they were the extreme. But I think the concept of eugenics is quite important. It doesn't have to be extreme. Don't exaggerate the point. So it's like, oh, we wouldn't have been born. Practice eugenics at the level that you're at. Don't just stick anything. You guys are sticking half retarded women. You women are just, giving your womb up. Listen, I practice eugenics with mine, and you guys have seen my daughter. Okay. You guys have
Fear.
seen my daughter. I did that. I practiced eugenics. And she wasn't a mistake baby like a lot of us were. We looked each other in the eye. We was like, we want to see how this would look. And we put it in a blender. And you know what I mean? He was a competitive bodybuilder, smart about his job. You know what I mean? Handsome face. Like, I was like, yeah, this is going to be good. And my daughter is stunning. Absolutely stunning. So I'm like, it works.
I just
Honestly,
would
if
jump in and
some of
say
your
this.
mamas actually second guess certain things, we wouldn't be having a lot of these conversations right now.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
You mean
Look,
if they were swallowed? Is that what you're saying? All right.
Swallowed, left on the floor, shot over a shoulder, whatever. Whatever.
In the hair.
wait,
If she
put
had
your
to wash in her
glasses
hair.
on. Put your
Paula,
glasses on.
I told you this is where you could say what you got to say.
Right.
Put your glasses on.
And look, to think you was coming up here like tiptoeing, like, I
Yeah,
don't know if I
yeah.
can.
I was like,
Paula was like, can I curse? And Haran's talking about
Yes.
shooting cum over somebody's shoulder.
Yes.
Oh,
I wanted to add, and I was trying to come up, and it was acting crazy. But see, I'm not struggling no more. I'm a better streamer now.
good.
So I did want to add though
Mhm.
that when we talk about that, especially when it comes to sex, right? The conversation of sex isn't even put into play into what Haran and Tenose said. When we talk about men and their ability to cope, their ability to function in society. My mother, she didn't say eugenics, but she straight told me, hey, look at everything on that man and find out if you want a child that looks like that.
Mm.
She said, I looked out, your father was ugly. And I was like, oh.
Not your
right.
father was ugly.
Yes, she did. She was like, he was not the one I wanted. I was like, okay. So I got that conversation early on in life. My grandmother was the same way. Don't bring her no baby with no nappy BBs on their head. Don't
Oh,
bring her no
no.
skillet baby. We were raised hearing this, right?
That's
That
terrible.
it is terrible, and it's in a lot of communities. But strictly, I'm speaking of my Black community experience.
Oh, it's in
And
ours too.
right, it's done in every culture. So speaking to that, it's human nature to want the best out of everything else. That's the natural part. This is where a lot of men don't want to deal. They want to say, oh, it's in my nature. I need to sleep with this one and that one. Well, why can't I do the same? It's in my nature. I like men. Honey, look, I like them like shoes. Put them on, they pretty. I like them. I walk around in them, and then I put them back. But that's it, right? If I take that stance as a woman in this society, I'm looked at as broken or somebody hurt her or it's got to be this. Yes, I have had my heart broken. I have had disappointment. I've had all of those things in every relationship I was in. And I didn't stand for it and I didn't stay for it. And I don't regret that because it's like, I had to figure out why do I keep attracting these type of men? And it was because I had unsettled issues where my father was concerned. And I had to come to that conclusion on my own. And then I was like, wait a minute, I have to readjust and just be who I am, which is a woman who is comfortable in her sexuality. I'm not looking for a man to take care of me. I'm looking for a mate. I'm looking for somebody that wants to build with me, want to live on the land with me, want to grow something. We being real inappropriate in the greenhouses and stuff. Like that's where I'm at. with when I speak to a relationship. But in all honesty, I'm really cool without one. And it's not because I've had bad relationships. There were good moments in those relationships. However, I felt I was getting and giving way more than I was receiving. And I was tired of doing it. And when I would bring it up within the conversation, it would always be some kind of tantrum. I was with my one ex. He's the one I was telling you. Me and him, we dated. It was I really didn't think we were going to get together, but we were talking over the phone. He was in one state, I was in another. Then his ass showed up. I was like, oh, you really here? Okay, so we're gonna try this. But again, here's a man that was insecure. He had lost a whole bunch of weight, but he was still that fat boy inside. He had a horrible relationship with his mother, and he had to take care of her. And what he told me was, well, I'm moving back because my mom had a stroke. I'm taking care of her, blah, 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 blah. Do you know his mother straight looked me in the face and said, this was Valentine's Day. She looked me in the eye and said, no, the night before. And she was like, he's not a caregiver. He doesn't have it in him to do it. Right to my face. Now, I could have been one or two ways with that. I could have been like argued the point or, maybe something like, your son's amazing. I just was like, she's right though. He wasn't. He wanted to be taken care of, and he was trying to get me to marry him so that he could leave me with his mama and his niece and nephew. I was supposed to be the one. He sat there and said it right to me. I said, my mom is sick as well. You want me to take my money? I'm taking care of my family currently. You want me to take the little money I do have and get an apartment with you, knowing damn well that my family is needing my money and your family needs yours? Isn't that why you came back up here? He was like, no, well, see, yeah, but I'm going to get back in radio and I'm going to need somebody to. Who's somebody? Me? No. And I knew at those moments in the relationship, this ain't going to last. You know already. You feel it if you tell yourself the truth. And so, like, to the point of your title, I think Meagan Good is sought after because she has that mix, right? She has been seen as a sex symbol, and she's also been seen as a, wonderful Black woman, no real drama, just man issues, but no real drama, right? Not the overt Black woman that is normally portrayed. And so, of course, we know that this is all some kind of ploy to make it seem like, well, he couldn't have done what he did. Look at him. He's got a Black woman on his arm, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's all well and good for press, but we know in reality that if there was some issues between him and his last ex and she willing to go that far to destroy him, you dealing with something more than that. Why was he even with her in the first place? We can ask that question. We can ask, why did he start dating Meagan Good after being, accused XYZ, whatever those reasons may be. But the truth is that you have an opportunity on every level if you are willing to tell yourself the truth. And that is the hardest thing that people do. They can't tell themselves the truth.
I wish Spro would come back up here because he is a self-admitted. I don't know if he used the word incel. He's backstage. I think he's probably busy with the family, but he's admitted that he was one of these guys that was a huge fan of these YouTubers who hate women, and he pulled himself out of it because after a while it just stopped making sense. So I would love for him to speak on that. If I know he's back there, I don't know if he's too busy, but again, it goes back to what Haran said. Some of these dudes are just damaged goods. There is such a thing. I know there's we live in a sensitive world where you can't shame everybody and everybody's beautiful and everybody's equal and everybody's worthy. And that's never been the case. It's not the same. It's not the case in nature. It's not the case in humanity. There are people that are better than other people as far as survival and what have you. But Spro is an example of someone who pulled themselves out of that circle of the woman hating and all of that because it just stopped making sense after a while to him. And he's an intelligent young man. I don't know if he's
And
going to
what
come up before
happened?
we wrap, but
Well,
And what happened when he pulled himself out of
he
that?
got married. He got with the
yeah.
That's
lady.
all.
He got married.
And there it is. And that's the proof, the sound that has to be louder than what is being espoused is that, yes, there's another way to do that. And that is where I feel like a lot of men fail in that sense, especially when it comes to our communities, because it's not enough of the men speaking on the things that are truly causing an issue in our community. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the interview that Umar Johnson did.
We
Did you?
did.
Okay, all right. So I have been following this dude since my ex introduced him to me, and I remember he was talking all this jazz about black women and weave and all of this like really not necessary stuff. So to hear him go,
Ooh.
women are finally telling you that what you're doing is not enough and y'all don't like it. That your dick and your money ain't enough no more. It's just not. You have to love yourself, be into you. Just because you put on some cologne and a suit and go outside and pretend like you got a job, that's your business. That's fine. But stop pretending as though there are women running through streets talking about, you're a loser, fuck off, you ain't shit. Da, 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 da. Like, that's how it is presented, like we are running in herds saying black men and men ain't shit. And that's not true. And what's interesting to me also is that a woman like Meagan Good, she is always assaulted on who she's dating. Yet the men that she has dated couldn't provide the things that she needed, and nobody talks about that. We don't talk about that side because it's been indoctrinated in our society that men don't have to do as much.
I
You
just want to
only
say,
have to give your wallet and your dick. You provide a house, a car, and everything. That's supposed to be enough.
I
And
think, I just want to say one thing also in terms of
sure,
the man that he left, the man that Megan left. I don't know the guy. Seems like a nice guy, I guess, but
he was a pastor. I know
yeah,
you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah. He when the divorce happened or whatever, he just went on this tour, this pity tour, this IG pity tour, and he had pictures of himself crying and falling into this depth of darkness. He's
How sexy.
still jumping
I
on
know, right,
still
Lily?
jumping on podcasts talking about I cry myself to sleep all the time, and it's just after years you're still talking this. And here's my point. Here's another thing a lot of these young men and men period need to learn how to do. Move on. Move on from your situation, man. Stop using this as some sort of, and I think that a lot of the anger that so many of you hold, maybe that you just haven't moved on from a lot of things in your life.
Yes.
You moved on to maybe a particular relationship that didn't work. Maybe you didn't move on because the high school cheerleader told you no. I don't know what it is, but hanging on to things that didn't work out for you, that is just not what men do, man. You have to understand the importance of moving on and pushing forward.
Jen, I
Yeah,
love this last super chat by Fahim. Very,
Okay.
very on point.
Thank you for the super chat, Fahim Jackson. Fahim Jackson says the most dangerous man thousands of years ago is a man standing on the horizon, attached to nothing. Today we have millions of them.
Oof.
All right, tonight was amazing.
I just I gotta say, I wish we'll revisit. We also have to revisit the Umar Johnson thing. He dropped a lot of jewels. He's that broke clock, just like
Yeah.
That's it.
Candace
That's
Owens.
it.
He's just to me like Candace Owens. He's that broke clock, but he dropped jewels, and them dudes didn't know what the fuck to do with themselves.
No, they was
didn't know
mad. You
what
see
the
their
fuck.
faces,
They
the
didn't
body
know
language.
they didn't know what to do with themselves, because there was a man not sucking their nuts, but literally telling because usually the men that they subscribe to are sucking their nuts or vice versa. But they was in front of a man who was telling them, you guys are fucking punks. There was one guy there in skinny jeans talking about women are masculine, sitting there in my fucking jeggings. Like, Like, it's just not, the math ain't fucking mathing. And he called them to task. So we really have to break that down as well. I'd like to dissect that and get into that because he dropped jewels.
There was
I
one
was
thing
like,
that stuck with me. There was one thing that stuck with me in that video. And Umar said, we need to be leaders. And one dude said, these women ain't gonna let us be leaders.
Yes, thank you, Haran. Thank
And I
you, because that's
said, see,
exactly
that's your problem.
right.
That's your problem.
Wow.
You think somebody's supposed to let you and give you
Yes,
permission to be a fucking leader.
that's
If you're the
it.
leader, you walk through the door and be like, this is how it's gonna go. This is how I move. If you're with it, great. If not, you can leave.
right. Yeah, that
Oh, I'm
stuck with
sorry.
me. No, it's okay. That stuck with me as well because I'm like, it's actually, and I'm not a black woman, but even not after being a couple years on social media, I'm like, go ahead and divest. I could, if this is the fucking litter, like, divest, that word everybody hates. Like, I could not fucking do it. I'm not even a black woman. These men aren't attacking me all fucking day and all fucking night. And I am sick. I am repulsed by them. I am repulsed by the skinny jeans and the holes in the knees. I am repulsed by these men talking about women are masculine. They don't let us lead. It is repulsive. And when Umar Johnson said that, you guys, I brag on my daddy, as crazy as he was. I couldn't even imagine my father walking in the room and asking a woman to let him be a leader or to let him be a man. It is laughable. The concept is laughable to me. My father would never in a bajillion years fix his face to call a woman masculine. Why? Because my father is masculinity. He embodies masculinity. So why would he ever on this earth call a woman masculine, knowing a woman can never be masculine because she can never be him. Never. So when a man says women are masculine, you must feel that women are equivalent to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Yep.
it is. So is it that you feel that women are masculine, or are you sitting tightly in your feminine frame?
I, if you don't mind,
Go ahead, chocolate.
the gentleman that didn't come back, is he still here? Is
Spro
he
is back.
still
Spro is backstage, but
okay?
he's right here. But I don't know what he's doing
Hello.
in his house.
The reason
He's
I
not-
wanted to ask if he was still here, because I meant to say this the last time, but it was short. Me and
Mm.
him got into it on a panel before.
Spro,
Before his yeah.
Spro, come back.
I don't voices, I'm really good. And the first time I heard him and then I saw him and I was like, oh, okay. We were having a conversation. We were on another panel. This was a while ago. I want to say maybe last year, whatever. And I was talking about building in our community and how not necessarily that I was asking men to do it. I was just giving what the plan is on my front and what can be done and what paths are available. I'm not caping for nobody. I'm just giving information. You can use it, take it or leave it. So it was a back and forth of questions. And then the last question was, do you have a husband? And I was like, no. And he was like, that's what I'm saying. Blah, blah, blah. And jumped off the panel. This was last year. And I thought about that. And then to see his growth coming out of it, it is exactly what I have always believed. That choice, you control this, nobody else. So every decision you make, you have to be accountable for it. And when it comes down to these type of personality traits and types that they feel like they deserve or are owed something, and we find them in every culture and every level of socioeconomic, so on and so forth, it is the inability to look at yourself and go, I'm fucked up. I got some fucked up shit I need to fix. And when women started doing that, especially Black women, we started doing that because we were being told we were the problem. So you had a whole group of Black women that started doing everything, losing weight, going back to school. That was the movement on the ground, because men at that time were then again saying we weren't independent enough. We went through an era of Black men making songs about us being independent, but then now it's a problem. Now we're too independent. We know too much. We want to do too much. We are masculine. And that's what I've been called on this YouTube space. almost now going on 2 years, I'm masculine. And I'm masculine based off of this definition. I am a provider, I am a builder, a creator, and I want to see change in my community. Is that what makes a man? Isn't that
So
just
we
what makes a human
so
person?
we can end on this because I put in my little notes on Instagram, I put what the show was going to be about. It's basically good girls choosing bad boys, and I use the quotes, right? Because people have their own definition of what a good girl is and what bad boys are. And I got with right on time the men, not the
Exhibit A.
women. Oh yeah. Right on
Okay.
time. The men, not the women. Because women, I will give this to women. For all the heat that women catch from men, the biggest bitches I've dealt with online have been men,
Hands
hands
down.
down,
Hands
without a
down.
doubt. I mean,
Yeah.
without a doubt, these motherfuckers will argue. If you don't block them, they will argue
Yes.
for hours and
All
hours
day.
and hours. They're the ones that jump on the memes. They're the ones that jump on the jokes. It is men. The feminization of men has been done by men.
Yes.
Okay. I know you want to blame single baby mamas. I know you
And
want to blame women being masculine, but the
and
feminization of
the
men,
LGBT community because they want to blame that too.
right? The feminization of men was at the hands of other men, at the hands of these cyber daddies that they adopt as their own fathers. It's a man thing, right? So of course, without fail, I'll post something and the men come a running, right? And it doesn't take much. Takes a little nudge and they come a running with their cleavage out, okay, to argue with me because that is what men do online. So this guy says, all I said was, do good girls choose bad boys?
Oh
Yep.
God.
It's what I call the MWEP. And you know, these motherfuckers love them an acronym, don't they? They
They
just
will
love them an
acronym you to
acronym.
death.
Oh, they will acronym you to
Yes.
death. So he's like, it's called modern women epiphany phase, where they spend their best years choosing the bad boys and wait until they're less attractive and filled with trauma and baggage to settle for the good guy. Now, we've all heard this verbatim. We've heard it parroted because this is what the cyber daddies tell them. And this is what they repeat. They think they're really saying something. And yet, and still, the majority of men, again, are sexless, single, and miserable. And that's a sign that the last thing men should be doing is up in the panties and affairs of women. They should be manning up. Remember how people don't like that? Don't tell a man to man up. I'm
Man
saying
up.
man up.
Yeah.
I'm saying man up because the opposite of that shit fucked y'all up. Y'all running around in skinny jeans with holes in the knees, complaining about women's hair,
Cute
wig,
ass purses
looks,
too.
wall. It's like it's too much. Y'all done swung the pendulum all the way to the other side. The shit broke off, and we don't know what species of male you are. But it is pathetic. It is disgusting. It is repulsive, and it is men, and it is men in fucking abundance. Now I don't have my little not all some sign. It's over there. Again, I thank my lucky stars for the environment and the men that I know and love that are in my circle. Because had it not been for those men, there'd be no hope. I'd be like, oh, all hope is lost. All hope is lost. So
Right.
salute from the bottom of my little cold heart to all the men that I
Mhm.
know and love, and you guys know who you are. We talk on a regular. Okay, we plan on a regular. We are business partners. Some of us have been lovers. Okay, just good fathers, good men who work. And then no, these men are not fucking perfect. They are not 6'6", 6'6", 6'6". Okay, they're just decent fucking human beings that know their fucking gender roles and know their place and know and can relate to women. They're not
Right.
overly emotional. They're not effeminate, okay? They're not toxic, masculine, just decent human beings. And I salute you, and you guys know who you are. I'll be here all day if I had to name
All
names and go
right.
through my fucking contacts. But
Right.
y'all are out
Right.
there. Y'all are out there and you exist, and we salute you and we love you and we
Mhm.
support you 110%. That's why we go hard with you. Okay? We are here for you. And the only thing that I ask, and I'll end on this, the only thing that I ask is that you guys be more vocal because women need to see and hear you because these motherfuckers are loud.
They are.
They're loud. So, with that said, I will pass the mic and we can close because woo.
Thank
This
you
was
so
a
much,
great stream.
everyone showing up. Ma'am, thank you so much for giving us these interesting stories and insights. I believe I speak for everyone when I say that you are definitely welcome back on the block. And to everyone, thank you so much for me allowing me to be my crazy bulldog in a China shop self. And I'm ready to get something to eat.
Someone about to get hangry.
Yes.
Someone's about to
Right.
get hangry.
Yes, very much.
Anyone else have any part? Please, Paula, do come back. We do need a lot of shit dissected. And if you are a therapist, ooh, you'd be good for this panel because we
Right.
all love Chrysler. We can all get a little Chrysler here. No saying anything you have to say with your fucked up mic today. Your mic was on some shit today. No saying.
I just think it's where I'm
Your
at.
mic was being racist.
Yes, I just think it's where I'm at right now until I can move this to a different room. The air conditioner, I think, makes a lot of noise because the vent's right above me here. So, but anyway, yes, definitely, Paula, come back. I'm going to be wondering about this whole thing of one of your patients now. I have an obsession with where
The guy who was obsessed with assholes.
I have so many,
I
so
can-
many stories.
I can only
I bet you do.
imagine.
I bet
That would
you
make a
do.
really good, like one of those shows on HBO where where there's a therapist there and people are coming in and you hear the wildest stories. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me, But
I think about writing a book.
yeah, definitely. So anyway,
You
no,
should.
good show. And tomorrow, don't forget tomorrow it is going to be atheist versus religion. Atheism
Tomorrow's gonna
versus
be-
religion.
Tomorrow's going to be on and popping again. So if you are an atheist or religious or spiritual or theist, whatever it is you pray to or don't pray to, please pull up tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. E Black is coming back. He's a Christian. We'll be back. We're atheists. We got a theist. We got an agnostic. Lily is
And a tree
spiritual.
hugger.
And a tree hugger. So wherever you land, I'd like to see some Muslims up here. We did have, was that other guy a Hebrew Israelite? He was going after the NOI.
No,
So
he
I'd
was
like
a-
to
he-
That-
He
what
said he's
was
a
he?
Muslim.
He was he was a real
Oh, he was a
Muslim.
real Muslim. My
Yeah.
bad. He was a real Muslim, and he took a shot at the NOI. Called them the fake Muslims. So whatever it is you are, come on up here and defend your God or gods. Thank you so much for the super chat, Big Elvis Chef Rosenberg. I haven't seen you here in a minute. Yeah, if you're a Satanist too, come on up. We'd like to hear it. I'd love to hear what a Satanist, that sounds interesting. If you guys know any religious people who know their shit, okay? Because
Right.
Christians come up here and I just love my Jesus. Or what about Psalms? I don't know about that. I just love my Jesus. And I'm like, oh, okay. Get some people up here who know the damn Bible. And it'll be on and popping tomorrow.
Let me go out there and grab one of these Muslims. I got a block full of Muslims.
Girl, I can't. I can't.
Random Muslims and Catholics too. I don't think we had a Catholic last time. If you're a Catholic,
Yeah.
but it's
I literally live in a neighborhood full of Muslims.
I
On that
understand.
note,
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're
Let's
out
close
of
out.
here. Love you all. Good night. Hit that like and subscribe on your way out. Mwah. Love you all. Thank you so much. Please come back. Ladies, it was lovely to see you. I get tired of the sausage fest up here. The guys think they can take over. It's nice to get some ladies
I'll
up here.
be
So
here
please,
earlier next time. I'll be on time.
thank
Come
you.
help us
Please
out.
come back.
I got you. You know it. All right. My hair did. I'm good. All right. Let's
Okay.
go.
All right. Good night,
Bye,
guys.
y'all.
Love
Nice to
y'all.
meet you, Paula. Bye, guys. Good night.
Bye. And we're out. If you're still here, please hit that like and subscribe for Mama. Hope you enjoyed the show. Are you not entertained? You get a little bit of everything here, okay? A little bit of everything. Don't forget, I am on the Block with Jen on all social media platforms. If you want to support the show after the replay, hit me Cash App on the Block with Jen. We will see you here mañana. Good night, guys. Be good. And if you can't be good, be careful. Joe punk asses.